Long as I wake up in the morning, I'ma get a bag. Get a bag, yeah, I'ma get a bag. Long as I wake up in the morning, I'ma get a bag. Get a bag, yeah, I'ma get a bag.
All right. Hey, what is up out there? How is everybody doing this evening? And welcome to another episode of Sports Bites. We are your number one sports podcast, bringing you the best of both worlds, sports and snacks. How's everybody doing tonight? So glad that you're here with us for a very exciting, just electric episode this evening. The last 2 days have just been
absolutely
insanely wild. This is crazy. So let's get this thing started. This is a big night. It's a big night of firsts for a lot of things all over the board.
Yes, sir.
Let's go ahead and introduce our guest, of course. You know him, you love him. On the mic, my brother, Don Schro.
How we doing tonight?
Great. How are you doing, bro?
I'm doing fantastic.
Oh,
I'll see how you guys are doing.
Dude, I'm doing great.
Doing good.
Always
over here,
good.
we got a new guest this evening, our first time guest outside of our Sports Bites crew. Great friend of ours, actually coached our son's baseball team last year, me, Donnie,
Trio.
and
Greatest T-ball team ever.
the A's, CSLL all day, baby.
That's right.
All day.
That's right.
My
him.
good friend, our good brother, Adam McKinney, Big Mac over
good
here.
Good to see y'all.
Big Mac on the
sir.
mic.
My
Glad
boy.
to be here. Glad to be here.
Great to have you, man. So excited.
Perfect day to be here.
Oh, man.
My goodness.
Oh,
Last
dude.
2 days.
What a
You
day.
got. Oh, wow.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
We
Yes.
picked a spicy day for
Absolutely.
this one.
Well, we've got so much to go into today, but like always, you know, sometimes you got to just, even when you get overexcited, you got a ton of stuff going on. You got to stop, smell the roses. And today we're gonna stop and smell the root beer blind taste test. We talked about it a couple weeks ago.
I love me
Actually,
some
I guess
root beer.
it was last week, wasn't it, for the trivia night?
Mr. Brent brought it up.
Yeah, talking
Mr.
about
Mike.
some blind taste tests. Now, I love root beer. I love Barks root beer. We had to have an outside source that didn't know or that knew what was in the cups without y'all knowing. So
Yep.
I will not be partaking in the blind taste test this evening. However, Don and Adam. Adam, you want Adam? You want Big Mac? What do you want on the pod, man?
Big Mac's fine.
Big Mac, baby.
Big Mac's
Hey.
fine.
All right, here we go.
Give him the double.
Well,
Big
tonight
Mac.
we're going to do a blind taste test. Now, let me explain it to you guys real quick because I know we got a lot to dive into. So we've got 4 cups of root beer over here because root beer it's a love or hate thing. You either love it or you hate it.
it.
However, if you do like root beer, you have a brand. I guarantee you have a brand that is your all-time absolute favorite. You got to have it. That's what you go to every time. So tonight we picked 4 brands. We've got a couple big ones. Got a little wild heart, a little dark horse brand in here to see what's going on. So tonight we've got A&W, we've got Mug root beer, got Barks root beer, we got great value from Walmart. Just a little, just
That's a tricky one.
Yeah, just a little slide. So
Might be the best one.
I've labeled
Usually
each one of the
is.
cups. We've labeled each one. I've got them written down which one it is. So our 2 guests tonight, they're going to blind taste test one at a time. We've brought the OG Lays out, which, you know, on top of everything, OG Lays, they're a normal, like, not bland tasting, but they're a bland as far as originality, but they're a go-to. You can't go wrong
Can't beat him.
with Lay's classic
like-
potato chips.
It's
So
like the first time alone. Can't beat him.
Exactly. So we've got the Lays, the OG Lays. What I'm going to say is tonight, before you drink any cups, eat your Lays. Nice palate cleanser, because if you drink 4 cups of root beer, by the 4th
Salty,
cup,
sweet action.
you are not going to be able to tell any difference in any
Oh,
of them.
yeah, you won't.
So we've got our palate cleanser. We've got our 4 cups. I've got it written down which one it is. Each one of y'all are going to write down which one you think each one is. And
good
on
idea.
top of that,
Oh, yeah.
So I'm going to say
You guys
A,
are
B,
gonna-
C, D.
you're going to rate which one is your favorite out of all the 4. Okay?
Now, I will say, I'm not a root beer guy. So I'm
I
going in
told
blind.
him that
Nice.
might give
That's
you
why it's a blind taste
that
test,
might
baby.
give me the
might give you
edge.
buds a
Let
little
me give me the edge.
little kiss.
Yes. All right.
Let's
Well,
go.
with that being said, everybody, guys,
Let's start
grab you a
off
chip.
with
Grab you a
chip.
chip. Get you some
All right.
salt on the tongue.
Start off with chip, and we'll
I'm
go
just going
A.
to take a couple. put
That's
it on
fine.
the-
Do,
Yeah,
do,
that's
do it up, bro.
Yep.
Do it up.
Good ideas. Get a few.
All right. So,
Plays.
each side. Y'all going to start with A. Eat you a chip. Start
All
with
right,
your A.
chips.
You can
All right,
sip it.
salt.
You can chug it. You can do however you want to.
All right.
But let's get them started.
Cheers.
Cheers, mate. A.
Cheers.
This is cup letter A. Here we go.
Here we go.
That's good. I have no clue.
I was gonna say Now you
A
can
little
guess.
bit.
You can guess as you go, or you can try all four and then kind of.
A little bit of vanilla in there.
Definitely.
Gosh, that's a tough one. It's either Bargs or A&W. Because they taste very similar.
I think this is the only one I've ever had, so I think that's what I'm going to go with.
I'm going to have to say A&W for this one.
That's what I was thinking, too.
That's one of my favies.
All right. All right, so here we go.
All right,
so
got the chip.
clean off the palate.
Clean
Get
it.
you a little. Let me know if it works because I've never done the chips as a palate cleanser. Does it kind of?
We'll see here in a second.
Yeah.
Yeah,
does
we'll
it,
see after round
kind of reset everything a little bit?
I will say it took that vanilla taste out.
Yeah, it's
Good.
completely gone.
Good. All right. Here we go.
All right, B.
All right. So cup letter B. Here we go. Let's see
B,
what we got
here we
on
go.
cup letter B.
Cheers.
There's a difference in that one.
There is.
There's a distinct difference.
A lot less vanilla.
Oh God, I got to go with Kroger brand.
Great value, bro.
Great
Get it.
value. Sorry, great value brand. I'm sorry.
Great
That's
value
exactly
for B.
what I was
All right.
thinking.
It gave me a little bitter taste. at the end.
Okay. All right.
I might be
Clean
wrong.
off the palate.
Might
We
be
got
wrong.
our mascot down here tonight begging for some food over
Oh, yeah.
here.
Oh, yeah.
It's all right. I'll
Joining
get
us
him.
tonight, our boy, the Chooster.
The Chooster. All right, he's the official Sports Bites mascot. All right,
Yes, sir.
got your palates cleansed. We got
let's
got
go,
letter
let's go.
C coming. Got letter C coming. Here we go.
My fault.
Yeah, you
Had to
good?
cleanse.
You good?
You're
Cleanse
You
the
good?
salt.
Cheers.
All right. So 2 more left.
Yep.
Let me see if I get it
C.
right.
Here we go.
That's a tough one.
That is tough.
Jeez.
That kind of tastes like B.
I know. It's like a little bit.
Chewy, go get him. Go get him. He is also not just our official mascot. He is
Ferocious.
also the guard dog of the house and of Sports Bites. So
That's right.
everybody should have a Chewy.
Ferocious.
All right,
Man.
what do
I'm
you got?
not-
You got C
I'm
on
gonna
there.
I'm gonna have to go with Bargs on that one.
Got Barks at C.
I'm just going to go different with you. I'm
Okay.
going to go
Yeah.
Mugs. I don't
It
want
might
us
be
to-
a
I
little
don't want
more-
us to be the same.
It might be a little more watered down, so we never know. We got a little ice.
A
in
little
there.
bit, yeah, a little bit.
All right, last
All
one.
right,
Here we go.
Knock it out. Did you get your palate cleanser? Got your
Palate
chips.
cleanse. Let's chip it up. Salty it. I have a feeling I'm going to be right.
Good God, those B, C, and D taste the exact same.
I was wrong.
Uh-oh.
This is Bargs. I was wrong. I'm the switch.
Oh, you're switching it up.
I'm gonna go Bargs
You know what?
D.
You know what they say about your first guess, your first instinct. What they
I
say
might be
about it.
I might be wrong, but
All right,
I'm
all
pretty
right.
good. I'm pretty good at distinct taste tests.
Okay, all right.
I hope we're not the
Got some.
exact same.
I'll say I think you guys got the same guesses
Okay.
all the way.
All right. It might be
All
right.
right.
It might be all wrong.
All right,
All
so-
four of them.
So before we go any
Who
further,
knows?
I got to know the faves. Which one sticks out? Which one is the one that you guys were like, yeah?
I mentioned it last week. Just that little kick of vanilla. I'm almost positive A is A&W.
I am
That's
too.
that's my
That's like a perfect
that's my
for a
go-to.
float. Perfect for a
Well,
float.
my grandma
Mhm.
back in the day when they had like the legit A&W at the mall, like
Oh,
with the
yeah.
root beer floats.
I remember
That
when
was
they
the
had them
best.
back at the hockey game.
Yep.
It used to be
Yes.
one of the things. Oh,
Yes.
goodness
So
gracious.
the
so
best.
so am I hearing this right? So favorites, you're going with A?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
You're going with A? All
A.
right. So A's were the favorites, and
A is great value.
you guys both had A&W is A, great value for B, Mug for C, and D for Barks. All right, well, let me let you know. A is in fact Mug root beer.
Ah!
Mug root beer is A. B, B, C, and D. No, wait, that's not right. No. Hold on. B is great value. C is A and W.
So we switched.
Hey,
We
and-
switched them.
And D is Barks. Yes.
All right.
I will say A&W and Mug is a close second. So
Yeah.
if I said I had a second place, that would be my second.
So what I'm
Yeah.
hearing is not digging on the great value.
it had me
You
a
said
little
bitter taste
yeah,
to it.
it
Okay,
did.
not digging the
Definitely.
great value.
Yeah.
So Barks is my favorite only because the old commercial you say it. Barks got bite.
And that's
I
what
like
it was.
that. I like that. Like
That's what
That's
it
what it
was
was.
on the
Yes.
D. I was like, wait a second. I had a little
Yes.
kick on that one.
well,
I wish I would have got that.
50%'s not
But
bad,
A&W and Mugs, those are the best ones by
Yes.
far, in my opinion.
Yes.
I like Barks too.
So I think Barks is my favorite. I like Barks as my favorite, but A&W for me as well. If I ain't got Barks, A&W is a good way to go. I can dig it. All right. Well, with that said,
try them all. Give us your opinion.
Gonna bring in a little bit of help from some outside help if they want to come down here real quick and
help real quick.
Gather these cups up off the table.
Oh, yeah.
We've got our
somebody else you haven't seen yet.
Yeah, we've got our resident helper right here.
Turn around, and say what's up.
You can turn around, say hi to the world, buddy.
Say what's up. There you go. You're gonna help us out.
You're gonna help us grab some of these cups and get them out of here. Yep. All right, we'll go on ahead.
Maybe grab two.
Yep,
That'd be
see if
safe.
you can grab two. All right,
sir.
buddy.
Thank you, buddy. Thank you. We're gonna go two at a time.
Get you two more.
Two at a time, just to be safe.
All right, thank you. Careful.
Careful.
You're good.
If you need my tablet, you guys can use it.
Well, thank you, buddy.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
buddy.
We appreciate it. All right.
All right,
We got 4 more.
Here we go.
Thank you.
Take 2 to tango. Here we go.
All right. Last 2.
2 more to tango.
Last 2. Take those over there. Careful how you're carrying them.
Yep.
There you go. All right.
Good
and
job.
real
That's my
quick,
boy.
hey, real quick, buddy. Down the line. Bring them down the line.
Here we go. Let's go.
All right, buddy. Thank you.
I thought
You gonna
I
bring
was
your
supposed
buddy?
to be in the tent.
Maybe next time.
Next time, buddy. Yeah, you were in it, buddy. You were.
Test, though.
Congratulations, dude. The world just got to meet my beautiful, talented son, Carson.
Mr. Carson.
All right. Well, with that,
Home
Bring
run
your buddy
hitter.
with you.
yes. With that, we have a ton of information to get through
Let's get
and
going.
not a
Let's
lot
get
of
it.
time tonight. We had some stuff. We had some stuff that wanted to be talked about, and quite honestly, to just run through. There's just too many things going on in the last 2 days for us to really go through a whole bunch of other stuff, except for our main topic tonight. I know, Donnie, you had a lot you wanted to say. You had Luka, Wemby, big records and stuff this week. People, if you're not watching these guys, you're sports fans, you're watching the
Pay
podcast,
attention.
you need to be watching these guys because records are being set. It's one of those things we just don't have enough time. We need more hours in the day, but we don't have enough time to go into everything.
Yeah, I'll just dip into it just real quick because we have so much, obviously, NFL free agency to cover. It's absolutely bonkers, and it's like Christmas come early. Luka has just been going absolutely bonkers lately. He set the record, 6 straight 30-point triple-doubles. Wemby had the first triple-double with blocks since I think it was Wilt or Kareem. Kareem's the only other one, and Wilt were the only ones to do that. So
That's surprising.
That's just crazy impressive to me. But, yeah, those 2 players stood out. Obviously, there's a lot going on basketball, but as he said, our minds are just in a whole other atmosphere.
Yeah, we're in a whole different
right
place.
now, so.
Real quick, move was made to expand the NHL, ATL back in the NHL, or NHL back in the ATL.
Yep.
Atlanta's a big, nice city,
they're
man.
making the push for it. One thing we wanted to talk about tonight, again, not a lot of time. Want to talk about our Roanoke Rail Yard dogs.
Yep.
They got a great push right now. We all went to see them. What was it last week? Seeing them against
Yes.
Knoxville.
I love the game,
Absolute ass
Very
whooping.
good.
12-1.
Yeah, it was ridiculous.
7-2 when I left.
Yeah,
so.
it'll say-
Or 7-1.
I
sorry.
think that one ended 8-3 was what Brett texted me at the
Yeah.
end of it was 8-3. And I mean, they scored like twice within the first minute and a half, 2 minutes, something like that. Crazy. We're rooting for our Rail Yard dogs. Any of you out there that are dogs fans or any of you out there that are working for the dogs or happen to be Rail Yard dogs, hey, we're rooting for you.
Absolutely.
Pulling for you. Hope you guys bring us home another President's Cup this year. Let's go,
Good.
dogs.
Go dogs, baby.
All right, here we go. Well, diving
Go to
right
the
in.
games.
Ladies and gentlemen, real quick before we start, obviously we say it every time, like and subscribe, get more content, like and subscribe, help keep supporting
Like
the
and subscribe.
podcast, keep us moving
Spread
forward.
the word, baby.
Absolutely. We want to keep this thing going. We want to become big. We want to become huge, not for us, but for you. You are what we do this for, the fans out there, and we love you and thank you so much for being a part of this. That being said, crazy 36 hours, last 36 hours in the NFL. Free agency. We got the draft not coming until April. This is the wildest free agency that I've ever seen in my entire life. It was
I agree.
I made the comment
100%.
earlier. It was like Walmart's doors on Black Friday. It's like that the door starts to crack open. That first person pushes their way in, and then it's an avalanche of people coming through.
Absolutely.
yesterday I
Stock
thought
market
something
crashed.
was yes.
Yeah.
Stock market just
Yes.
crashed.
Once one domino fell, all of them fell.
It was absolutely nuts. And tonight we're going to go over
It was
all of the big
insane.
the big acquisitions. We're going to go over who's still up. Although just since we started doing this, we've got all these notes and everything. Since we've started doing this, we've
Right
got
before.
acquisitions that have already been made just since we
We
started
got
the podcast.
trades too.
Yes.
My Steelers
So
already made a
much.
trade.
There's so
As
much
the
going on.
mic's turning on, we got 3 of them.
And on top of that, if we have time, which I think we will, if we rock and roll,
Yeah.
at the end of this, we are going to run over
got
our
it.
winners and losers of the first 2 days of free
Absolutely.
agency. Because while there are a lot of acquisitions out there that still could be made, I think like half and half right now of the top 100 are already signed. There are a lot left, but a lot of the big names are already off the table. There are a few here and there. Your big name players are pretty much signed up at this point.
Yes.
And we're going to dive right into it because we went so big time on the podcast tonight. We had to bust out the
chips out the way.
tablet. Oh, no worries.
Yes, sir.
We had to bust out the tablet because there was too much information for me to write down every single position player.
That's
everything.
what I tried to do last
lot
night.
Yeah,
smarter.
so I had to bust out
That's a lot
the
smarter
tablet.
option.
So yeah, we're moving up. We're moving up. I had to bust out the tablet. Moving up in the world. Moving up in the world. So
Let's go.
where are we going to start this one? Where are we going to start with this one? Because
Tell me.
I'm thinking, one of the biggest
A to Z.
things. Well, I was going to say one of the biggest things in football. What does everybody base a team off of these days? Quarterback.
Yep.
You go straight to your quarterback. Who plays quarterback for them? It doesn't matter who their running back or their wide receiver is. Most people nowadays, the first thing they look at is who's playing quarterback. Well, we've had some big quarterback moves in the last 36 hours.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
we have.
Let's get started. I think none other. I'm going to start off with what I feel like would be the biggest so
Okay.
far, the biggest acquisition, and up to this point, the biggest acquisition in both contract, the amount of time on the contract, the pay on the contract, and on top of that, the biggest impact up to this point, I feel like has got to be Kirk Cousins going to Atlanta.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Kirk Cousins goes to Atlanta. He signs yesterday a 4-year, $180 million deal. I think we've got
$100 million guaranteed.
Yeah, I was going to say $100 million guaranteed.
One of the highest now.
Also, on top of that, one of the oldest coming off of a very tough injury last year. Guys, tell me your thoughts on this. This is a big one.
So when I saw it, I was like, okay, if the Bears want to trade Justin Fields, why is Atlanta going for an older quarterback? Why are
Right.
they spending this much money on someone that's coming off an Achilles injury when you could trade for him and sign him? Most of the experts say that they're not going to get more than a second-round pick for him, if not more.
Right.
As I wrote down, just doing a little research, Atlanta has 2/3 and 2/6 in this round.
Yep.
Get rid of them. You traded last year to get those picks.
Yep.
That's a perfect stockpile pick. Here,
Exactly.
let me get Justin's Fields.
Perfect
Yep.
trade bait.
Yep. But like I said, I don't understand it. I know that his wife's family lives
Right.
down there, so maybe that's some motivation.
Yeah, for sure.
But to pay someone that much, that old, coming off an extensive injury,
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like that's one that that's a big risk. But you always say it, sometimes you got to risk it.
Get the biscuit,
get the
baby.
biscuit.
And I agree to a certain extent. I don't think he was worth quite that much money, especially coming off an Achilles injury. And Achilles injury is one of the toughest to come back from. Basketball player, baseball player, football player, doesn't matter. It's very hard to regain strength in
Yeah.
that muscle and be like you were before.
and have no fear of re-injuring it.
I will say one thing. Minnesota is completely washing out right now. They're
Yeah.
giving away all their All-Stars. I wouldn't be surprised if Jefferson leaves in the next few days.
Well, and
I really wouldn't. With all the
I know that
craziness
there was some
going
talk
on.
a while back, a couple months ago, where Jefferson kind of had made some tweets that didn't say he wanted to go, but kind of hinted to being open to the idea.
I've
Yeah,
seen that
and
too.
the thing is with Jefferson, who has thrown him the ball his whole career? Cousins.
Yeah.
Cousins leaves. There's not a direct quarterback there. There's not
there's
a
an
number one
empty
option
void.
there.
You don't know. There's a bunch of what if back there.
I mean, they signed Darnold today.
Yeah,
They did.
but that's
Like that.
That's a
But that
that's a-
might be their starter.
That's a panic move, like Randy was
Well,
saying.
and that's what
Panic
I'm.
move.
Yeah, I'm like that's what I'm asking. So you pick up. Do you pick up Darnold because you think we might not get a quarterback of any good caliber out of the draft, so we have to have somebody to fall back on? And on top of that, what you're going on with the amount of money that they're paying him in Atlanta, do you smell a little desperation money added in that contract? Like, hey, Ritter was not the guy. We have to make a big move, not just for the team, but for the fans of Atlanta. They want to see us do something big.
I truly think they were one key part away from being great last year, and it was the quarterback position. If they had a great pocket present passer and knows the offense well, obviously throws to their key players, like Kyle Pitts has been in the league 2 years. He has not gotten that much love. The guy is one of the most versatile athletes on the field every time, and they just don't throw him the ball.
Johnny Smith.
What? Exactly. Johnny Smith was getting all the touchdowns. That's awesome. But this dude, Kyle Pitts, is athletic as fuck. And, dude, there's no reason not to throw him the ball, and that's what this guy is about to do. Kirk Cousins will get 10 to 15 touchdowns to this guy this year. I'm already calling it.
I think getting a new coach helps.
Yes,
Sadly, I signed him. We signed him for our offensive coordinator. Hopefully that doesn't go well. but
New
new
team,
team, new
new
coach,
dream, man.
and actually giving an opportunity to the young stars that you have.
Exactly.
Bijan, as you said,
Drake London, Kyle Pitts,
exactly.
Algier,
So
all
any
young
of them.
cats.
real quick, so then you have Cousins now. You've signed him to 4 years. You're in it $100 million guaranteed.
They're in it right now. That's it.
Do you hold on to Ritter? Do you hope Ritter maybe develops under a veteran quarterback?
Absolutely.
Or do
Absolutely.
do you think Ritter his play last year says, hey, we don't think that this guy's going to develop. We don't think he's going to make it to that level. Let's look now at a younger quarterback, maybe late in the draft, to see if we can find that diamond in the rough to work under Kirk Cousins. What do you think?
I mean, I think you can probably find some late round. Honestly, Tyler Henneke was a lot better.
Yeah, Taylor Heineke.
Yeah,
that
Heineke
dude
was
is
a lot better. But
That's impressive.
I think, with that being said, you could possibly, as you said, find somebody in the later round, have someone develop.
Yeah.
That would probably be the smart move.
Yeah, I think people bag on Ritter, but he really didn't do bad last year. He had a lot of great games. He didn't make many mistakes. A lot of it was their offense not being able to push down the field with their weapons. Like, how? How are we not going down the field with Bijan, Pitts, London, all those cats? It was inconsistent. He'd have great games, and then he'd have kind of wishy-washy
Then
games.
he throw for 50 yards.
Exactly.
So then do you think do you think that fans, especially Atlanta fans, they see a Brock Purdy who comes in super young, Mr. Irrelevant, and comes in and has basically killed it? Do you think fans look at those kinds of things when you see a Desmond Ritter come in and they're like, why isn't he even coming close to performing to that? Do you think that affects the fans or even the front office's mindset on your young guy, as far as whether you want him to stay behind a veteran and learn, or say, hey, we got to figure something out?
Go ahead.
Yeah, just real quick, I think a few of the best quarterbacks, Favre, Rodgers, Love this day, have all played behind each other. Rodgers played behind Favre a few years before he even started in the NFL. I think it was 3 years. Love played behind Rodgers for 2 years, got everything he knew from him, and has become a good quarterback. Ritter can do that. He's still a good quarterback. He had inconsistent games. He could play behind Cousins 2 or 3 years, then go to a team and start.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Get his fundamentals down, get his, offense down, everything like that, and grow as a player. And I think he could go to a team and start, for sure.
Personally, I think Ritter, especially now that you have Kirk Cousins, I think it doesn't make sense to look away from him. I think you need to get him learning the game behind a guy who knows the game, who has playoff experience, who has real experience with two teams. It's not like he just got his experience through
Washington
Minnesota.
and
He
Minnesota.
was amazing, an amazing talent for Washington most of the time he was there.
Yes, it was.
To be honest, when that whole thing went down, I was still kind of surprised, because I was like, and I feel like that one is another one of those ones where you have fans who are demanding something needs to happen, put it on him.
Right.
So, I think that as far as quarterbacks, that's the big one. For me, I think you guys were pretty high up on that one being a
Absolutely.
huge signing. I feel like that one was the one that kind of kicked the craziness of this whole
Yeah,
free
of
agency
course
off.
it did.
It did. I mean, it definitely kicked the quarterbacks off. 'Cause,
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, Wilson kicked it off before anybody else.
Right.
But that one got the ball rolling.
Yeah.
And
The big money.
yeah. It
Yeah.
started
Yes.
moving around.
Yeah.
That big money was
Big money.
all over the place
Yes, it
after
was.
that.
Well, so let's hit on a couple others real quick, just because there was some other moves in the quarterback realm, maybe not as big as Kirk Cousins, but that I personally thought would maybe have a huge impact on some teams who have really struggled.
Yes.
The one that I really look forward to, and don't worry, I'm getting to Russ. I'm getting to Russ.
I
Don't
thought
worry.
you were going to say Russ.
Yeah, I know.
The one
But
that
yes.
I really, and yes, I do have a place in my heart for the guy, but the one that I think is really going to benefit a team, a guy who has not been given his proper props, I guess you'd say. He did well last year. Gardner Minshew going to Vegas. Vegas has struggled at quarterback. They have really had some problems at quarterback.
Yes.
And is Minshew an elite quarterback? Not right now.
But he's effective.
And they're going to have
Competitive.
weapons around him. And let's not forget, we're not talking about it yet, but let's not forget that they are going to have an awesome defense, I feel like, to help the offense.
Oh, yeah, Wilkins and
I mean,
Crosby are going to light it up.
That's up there with the top defensive line.
Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes, absolutely.
They compete with Philly, for
Yes.
sure.
So I've got Gardner Minshew signed in 2 years, $25 million. That's $12.5 million a year with $15 million guaranteed. That's a great contract for Gardner Minshew, man.
It is.
He deserves all that money, though.
Absolutely.
Every cent of it.
I loved the fact that I was looking through these contracts of guys who signed, and you've got Jacoby, $8 million, Marcus, $6 million, Mitch Trubisky, $5 million 2 years, Drew Lock, $5 million, Russ, $1.2 million. You've got all these guys, and then you've got Gardner above all these guys at $25 million for 2 years. I was like, dude, last year you proved your worth. You proved that you can be that guy and that you deserve a shot as a true starter.
I mean, if you don't forget, his last year in Jacksonville before he got traded to us, he did very well.
Yep.
Then he got traded to us. He played a very good backup role when Jalen got hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Then he went to Indianapolis last year. Played very good. It's consistent. He's a very
He
consistent
just needs to
player.
get a shot. He's got
He's got
Absolutely.
Devontae.
Yes.
He's got Devontae.
Yes.
Yeah,
He
he's
finally
going
got
to
his
get his
number
shot.
one. I mean, he had Pittman last year. Devontae's a little bit better than Pittman,
Yes.
in my opinion.
Yes.
So, him with
Well-
Devontae and that defense, whew, that's dangerous.
And let's see, we also
Who did they sign? So they gave
signed
away,
somebody.
they gave away Jacobs. Are they about to sign Aaron Jones?
who?
Raiders.
Aaron Jones. Aaron Jones is gone. Aaron
Vikings.
Jones went to
Vikings.
he went to the
He's
Vikings
gone. He
today.
went to the Vikings.
Yep, he
Okay.
went to the Vikings
Gotcha.
today.
I
So
thought
much
it was-
going on.
Yeah, I
I've
know.
been waiting for
I'm
him.
looking through my
I've
list. I'm
been
like,
waiting for him.
where
I've been,
is it?
dang
So
it, I missed
on
it.
top of all that, we do have Russell Wilson going to the Pittsburgh Steelers for a 1-year deal, $1.2 million.
Yeah,
Now,
you talk about that one.
Russell,
I got you.
So here's the
Oh
thing.
my gosh.
Here's the thing, and I know you were
It's the
kind of
steal of
you
the
were a
century.
fan of it. Yeah, you were a fan of him last year. Russell got
loved him his
snubbed
whole career,
big time
man.
in Denver. Well, I mean, I'm just talking
Yeah.
about in his
Last
time
year,
in Denver.
he did great at the end of the year.
My
Yeah.
thing is one, I kind of love the fact that everybody when they brought in Sean Payton was like, Sean Payton's a god. He's another Belichick. Da da da. Well, you know what he has in common with Belichick? He has proved that both of those elite coaches have shown that they had to have an elite quarterback with them in order to reach that level.
Exactly.
Hate to say it, but like if Sean Payton doesn't have Drew Brees, do they end up like this? I mean, I know they have different weapons, different era of the game, but
I thought we were going to talk about some scandal gate. I thought that's where we were going.
no, we're going to Pittsburgh with Russell Wilson. One year, $1.2 million. How are you feeling as a Steelers fan about bringing Russell in?
I feel great. For me, I would rather trade it for Justin Fields. But the $1.2 million, it's nothing.
Dude, Denver's paying him $37
I know.
million.
Yeah.
It's
It's
nothing.
the steal of the century, in my
I
opinion.
mean, you look at his stats last year. Yeah, they weren't the greatest. I mean, he's been an elite quarterback at the beginning of his
he
career.
ended the year good.
Well, I
though.
can tell you right now,
26-8 ratio.
The last 2 years of Kenny Pickett, he beats both those numbers from last year.
Oh,
Kenny Pickett last year, 6 and 4 touchdowns to picks.
Yeah.
Russell Wilson, 26 to 8. I mean, it's an improvement.
It's improvement.
Yes.
There's no we can't go further down. It's an improvement.
Yeah.
It's a no-brainer. It was a no-brainer. I was happy. I am happy.
And that guy Pickens is unbelievable.
Yes,
and
it
you got a
is.
guy
Yeah.
Wilson throwing those
Yeah.
lob balls to him like he used to throw.
The only thing that worries me is Wilson doesn't like to throw the ball in the middle. Our offensive coordinator now likes to throw the ball in the middle.
Hey,
I'm hoping something gives.
I'll admit you guys got like Jalen Warren and Najee, so use Jalen that H back.
I mean, I'd
Get
like
him-
to see Pat
Get
Fryer
him used to hitting him in the
more.
middle. Yeah, get him used to
Get-
hitting those
get
short
moved.
ones.
Yeah.
Get moved some more
Yeah.
catches.
Get him used to hitting the short ones, and then
Yep.
in time, start going downfield.
I mean, even we still got a burner on the outside that barely got to play in Calvin Austin.
Yeah, Calvin
Yeah.
Austin. He's
I mean,
a threat.
fast.
He's
So
a threat.
So you got
that's,
weapons.
I mean, that's
You got
good.
weapons.
I mean, we
So-
did lose a weapon.
well, I was going to say
We'll talk about that later.
you lost a couple weapons actually in my book. So you lost Najee. Did you guys?
No, we didn't.
No.
No.
What am I talking about
No, no.
here?
Najee and Jalen are synced.
Yep, they're done. They're
They're going to be a good duo. Very good duo.
Like I said, I think
They should
with
sign Jalen to an extension.
they should.
Gosh.
He played better than Najee. at
Sadly,
some
yeah.
points. I don't know what you're saying.
Maybe no. It
I
must.
mean, it's
because
too much
literally-
going on.
17
No,
other running
but-
backs that signed
Well, and I'm
everywhere.
like, literally, my phone was just running through stuff at one point. Like, I couldn't keep up with scrolling through the ESPN. Very well must have seen something, thought it said it. That's how fast today and yesterday have progressed.
Absolutely.
Mine's rolling.
But so, yeah, I mean, you've got weapons around him. I think he does pretty well in Pittsburgh. If nothing else, he gets you to the next level. He gets you to the next step.
We haven't had a losing season in years.
Yeah.
20-something years, I think it is now.
Yeah.
I don't see us getting a losing record again.
Yeah.
That's just
Yeah.
wishful thinking. We have the hardest division in football. And I know y'all's is tough too,
It
but
might.
ours is the toughest.
Yeah,
Ours might be a
definitely.
flip-flop division after all the moves today.
By far the toughest.
Dallas
team.
ain't done anything.
Yeah, that's and we're going to hit on that. We're going to hit on that. Other real quick, other notables. Like I said, Jacoby Brissett to New England, not going to be a starter. Marcus Mariota to Washington, probably not going to be a starter. Trubisky to Buffalo, definitely not going to be a starter. I know you guys got to wash your hands of that one. Drew Lock to the Giants.
Nah.
The way the Giants have been going,
they're-
could be a starter.
They're about to grab McCarthy in the draft, and they got Jones. They just paid $90 million last year, so
Yeah,
they
I-
got to keep him.
They got to keep him, but I feel like at the same time, you got to keep him. But if he's playing like crap, you don't got to play him.
No,
No,
and that's
you
what I'm
gotta keep
saying.
him,
If they
so-
get McCarthy in the draft, McCarthy could beat him in
Yeah.
a first QB spot.
You also have Virginia Tech alum Tyrod Taylor
Yeah,
going
he
from
switched.
New York to New York.
Yep.
So,
He's solid. Whenever he gets in, he's
Yes, he
solid. He
is.
might not be a starter, but whenever he has his role,
yeah.
I mean, he did
Pull
good.
a little Frank Sinatra, New York,
Yeah.
New York.
He just moved to the
Yeah.
other side of the building.
Yeah,
Got Sam Darnold
Newark.
going to Minnesota. Not going to be a starter, I still don't feel like.
if he is, they're in trouble.
And then
Yeah.
you've got another second stringer who's, golly, has made his career in the last few years being a second stringer. You had Jameis going from New Orleans to Cleveland, backing up Deshaun Watson. If they need him, the good thing is Flacco was a gunslinger at the end of last season, and they didn't care that he threw picks because he was putting up yards and points.
Yeah.
That's what Jameson.
That's what Jameis Winston's going to do.
Winston still got it, baby.
Oh yeah.
Gave us our only championship. Let's go.
So, also, real quick, notable free agents still available. Quarterbacks. We've got Ryan Tannehill, Tyler Huntley, Josh Dobbs, Nate Sudfeld.
Yep.
Tannehill at 35, oldest of the real good free agents available. You got Flacco that's available at 39. I don't think anybody's going after Flacco. You got Hoyer at
Couldn't need him.
38. I don't think,
Just whoever needs Flacco, he's going to be sitting on the couch so he can get a call.
That's what it'll be. No one will pick him up in this stage of free agency. It will be when a team has their number one and number two go down, and they're
Yep.
like, "We need a guy who can sling the ball a little
Yep.
bit for us." Call Joe. Call
Have you
old
been
Joe.
thrown to your kids? Yeah. All right. Come on.
He's still,
The
he's
only
still
one that-
got it.
The only one that we didn't name,
Yeah.
I know it was lost in the
Yeah.
shuffle, was Baker re-signing with Tampa.
Oh, that's huge.
Yeah, that was
and Mike
huge.
Evans.
Yep, that was huge. I think the only
Great
totally reason I
duo.
didn't have it down was because with all the free agents,
That's
I
what
didn't
I
really
said.
even
Yeah,
get
I
a
had
chance
that
to
one.
focus on re-signings. Baker with Tampa Bay, I like that move because he needed a fresh start.
Yep.
Tampa Bay needed someone to fill some big shoes.
Yep.
Yes.
They both got what they wanted
he
out of
did.
it. And
He
I
was
think that he
comfortable.
has,
Yeah.
with Mike Evans being extended,
Yep.
he is going to be
Godwin there, Rashad White is
Yep. Rashad
incredible.
White went
going to have the
God,
weapons.
he is
Going to have the
incredible.
weapons.
Got him in my dynasty draft. That was.
Oh,
Top notch,
okay.
top notch.
Okay.
But the thing is that they're kind of in the worst division. He's serviceable.
Yep.
Yeah.
He played well last year.
Oh,
So, I mean,
golly, yeah.
they'll probably win the division again.
It could easily happen.
Rocked our socks in the
You
playoffs.
got New Orleans struggling. You've got Carolina, who's I'm like,
knows
I've
what
got a
they're
bunch
doing.
of friends that are Carolina fans. I feel bad for them. I know they
They're
want their
gonna
team to make
be
some
a better team. I'm not going to say they're going to be a good team. They're going to be better than 2-15 though.
years down the line. I think
Guaranteed.
they will in the next couple of years. This season, I don't think that they're going to.
They have made
Be better than
improvements.
2-15. They're going to be better than 2-15.
They'll be better than that, but they're not going to be. They're not going to be a contender.
No,
I mean,
I didn't
but
say
they
that.
have made improvements on the offensive line. They've made a lot of offensive linemen
Already.
signs,
And
which
that
was their
was-
problem last
Yes.
Yeah, and you block for Bryce Young. The dude is still good. I don't care what
Yeah.
anyone says. He gets
year. He's only
blocking.
he's only
He does
5'10".
good.
You got to give him some time.
He just won the freaking Heisman. For
Yeah.
God's
Yeah.
sakes, like, come on.
Well, with that, I know one thing that everybody was super excited about that has just been wild, wild all over the board
Let's go.
for the
running
last 2
backs,
days
baby.
is punters and special teams.
Get the
Totally kidding.
Hey, Steelers signed a punter. We got rid of the worst punter in the league. I'm excited.
There are some good punters out there.
Cameron
jack the
Johnston.
ball.
We're not really talking about punters and kickers, but Cameron Johnston did get signed. I was like, Cameron Johnston.
Very nice.
Running backs in the NFL. Big signings. Big signings.
Huge.
Where are we starting?
I love it.
I'm going to, like we did last time, I'm going with the top contract.
Go ahead.
Let's start with the top contract. This is one that I was kind of surprised about, but, talking to some people, Chris Bailey, shout out to Chris Bailey. He kind of put some stuff into good perspective, too. Smart guy. Let's start with Josh Jacobs going to Green Bay. 4 years, $48 million. Guaranteed 12.5. 26 years old. Great outlook for Josh Jacobs in Green Bay.
Yeah,
Great outlook for him.
absolutely.
Absolutely.
He's got obviously a great pedigree coming from Las Vegas. He showed that he could be the guy.
On a bad team.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you've got Josh Jacobs going to Vegas, or going from Vegas to Green Bay. Green Bay goes ahead. If you're bringing Jacobs in, Jones got to go.
Yep, they released him immediately.
My thing was Aaron Jones was electric at the end of last season.
Yeah,
That's what surprised me was
I
not
love
just
Aaron Jones.
not just signing him, but the money that they paid him. I was like, that's kind of surprising
Surprised
to-
they just released him. How
to
good
let
he
him-
did
to
at
let
the
him
end of
just
the
go
year.
like that.
He could have
But-
went to the bowl.
But like I said, talking to Chris, he was like, listen, man, the injuries are there.
Yep.
The age is there.
Yep.
You have to look at those things in the future. And for these teams that wanted a 3 or 4 year running back, do you trust Aaron Jones for 4
Yeah,
years?
and I
You're
agree.
going to guarantee
I
him
trust
money.
Jacobs a
And
lot
we're going to
more.
touch on that here in a minute, too. You're
It's all
going to
about the
guarantee
long
him money.
run. It's the longevity.
it.
So that was
Just the trust to have in somebody 4 years, so you're solidified.
yes.
You're gonna be there for at least 4 years. You might have an extension. You might be there the rest of your career, and they're paying you good running back money.
Yeah.
No one's getting paid over 10, really. A few guys, a few superstars,
Yeah, superstars.
and in reality, they deserve a lot more. Like, they are key players to their team. For heaven's sakes,
Yes.
like, come on.
Yes.
All these
Well, they're
QBs
the
and
workhorses of these
They are.
teams.
QBs and these receivers getting paid chump change, and it's the same as RB contracts, and they don't do crap all year, but they get paid. Come
Well, like
on.
I said, it's always a trend.
Yep.
It's going to wide
Yeah.
receiver. It's coming back to running back at some point.
I
You
think
wanna
I think
have
it
that
grew
workhorse.
just in this past day. I think it grew just a little bit. Just more respect is coming out.
Well,
for,
and I
for
think
guys like
the
that.
rush. I think the rush on these
Yeah,
players
people are like, oh,
really helped
I
these
need to
contracts.
step it up a little bit.
You had team cap space move up this year. They
Yep.
bumped the cap,
yeah,
opens a little bit of room
that.
for some of these teams, and then you had the influx of just all these players signing.
Yep.
So teams were like, "Hey, throw some cash at them. Throw some cash at them." I still feel like looking at these contracts, running backs are undervalued,
Yeah,
highly undervalued.
100%. I forever agree with that.
You have 2 running backs out of all of free agents signed so far that are going to be making over $10 million a year. That's Josh Jacobs and Saquon Barkley. They're going to both come in 12 for Josh, 12.5 for Saquon. To me, for the level of play that these guys have, that seems like a low number. I'm happy that the Philadelphia is not going to break the bank and pay him a crazy amount of money, but at the same time, it's like, man, you have some of these. These are the workhorse guys. These are the guys that are getting the hell beat out of them every play. These are the guys that, a wide receiver coming across the field, they're going to have one guy who's keying and going after him. A running back, man, he's going to get hit by 4 guys all the time. These guys get beat up a ton. They're like mobile offensive linemen sometimes. Obviously, because, even in the pass block, mobile offensive linemen, these guys go through a lot. Tell me about how you feel. Do you feel like running backs are truly undervalued? Do you think, you're saying this is a trend. Do you think this is a trend that moves up, or do you think this is kind of a one-time thing and it's going to plateau? What do you think about the running backs right now?
Well, I think right now, from where it was like 2 years ago, where they were just begging to be paid.
Yeah,
right.
It's in the right trend. It's going in the right direction.
Yeah, exactly.
The run game is an equalizer to any good defense. You have to have running game to be able to throw the ball.
Yes,
that's simple.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. So if you don't have a running game, you can't throw the ball. I would know. I'm a Steeler fan.
Right.
If you can't run the ball, they know what's coming.
Yeah.
We ran play action the last 5 years.
Yep.
And no one knew. Everybody knew that. Well, they're going to throw it. So you have to have a great equalizer. I think it's in the right direction where more people are going to start getting paid.
Yeah.
I think this is a good trend.
Yeah.
Like I said, I don't think that, the last 3-4 years, 16, 17, whatever running backs would have been signed to another team.
Yeah.
This is the most action that the running backs have probably gotten in years.
Yeah.
Exactly.
If ever.
I will say, it was sad to see our boy Swift go. He had a fantastic year for us.
We're gonna talk about him for a second, but
exactly. Yeah. And
golly, I need caffeine, man. It's a long day. I'm over here yawning again.
I got some water right here. Yeah, real quick. I'm just going to hit on Swift real quick. Obviously, he did great for us last year. We had to get rid of him. I didn't say drink that.
That's
drink
vodka.
Water. No, it's not. That's my energy drink, man. All right. But yeah, we got rid of Swift. It wasn't because we didn't like him. It's because obviously we had a better option coming in. I'm just going to hit on Saquon, our new boy, man. I've always respected him as a player. I obviously don't like the Giants. As Eagles fans, I've always respected him as a player. And maybe since his rookie year, he hasn't really had a great O-line to run behind. Even last year when they went to the playoffs, they didn't have a great O-line. They were playing him every snap last year and this year. He was an H-back. They would slot him to receiver. They would motion him. Every run play, he was getting hit 5 times because his offensive line was so bad. He's going to a team now where obviously they're going to be blocking better. It's a better offense, better coaches, better quarterback, better atmosphere. And we didn't do the Giants thing where we signed him 1 year, where there's no validity in that. We signed him 3 years at least.
Well, and we gave him
great money.
Yeah, and we gave him the option to be like, hey, you get 3 years here. Do your job.
Yes.
If you like the atmosphere and you're doing well,
we'll extend.
We can work with it. What you're saying, 100% agree. I actually have that down here. Giants 2023 statistically worst offensive line in the NFL.
Yep.
So
and that's what he was running behind.
And he was productive behind that.
Yeah, absolutely. Those stats, dude. People don't realize. Oh, Saquon had an off year. He's running behind the worst O-line, breaking 4 tackles a play to get 10 yards. Come on.
Yep.
And he's receiving. He was catching over the shoulder balls like a receiver. He was making all the plays for them last year.
Like I said,
and getting paid chump change.
When you're the sole person on that offense, you don't have another weapon. You're just going to stack the box and they're going to give it to them.
And exactly what you're saying about undervalued. Saquon could touch the ball 50 times a game, and they could have 70 total offensive plays.
Yeah.
This guy's getting paid the least amount on the offense.
Yeah.
Less than tight ends, less than linemen, less than quarterbacks, obviously. Maybe less than the fullback.
Well,
geez.
And that shows something that the dude is getting paid less than all these guys. He's on a team that's not built around him. Realistically, they're built for crap on offense. And he's still willing to put the work in.
Yes.
Dude, it's so easy.
He was one of the better players on that team for years.
Yeah, it's so easy for guys in that position to be like, you know what? Screw this.
Yeah,
Why am I going to try out here? You guys aren't setting me up for
Exactly.
success. Why should I try to set you up for
He knows
success?
where to go.
Yet he still put the work in.
He knew where to go.
I don't know if y'all saw Tiki Barber came out.
Oh,
Yeah,
dude.
on his
That's-
podcast.
That's our boy. I
Yeah.
mean, Roanoke,
I love
Roanoke,
him. K
you know.
Spring, baby.
That's right.
Rondé.
But
Bronte.
if what he said, the Giants didn't even offer. They didn't give him any money. They didn't want him.
Yeah.
Like what? Insane.
And on top of that, the hatred over the last 24 hours that I've seen from Giants fans on
Yes.
social media.
Of all teams to go to, you got to go to them.
Oh, dude, I get it as NFL fans, but like I said, he was the only thing you had productive for you,
And
the only thing you had going for him.
Exactly.
And now because he finally has left to go to a team to give him a chance and pay him some money, you're going to shit on the guy who gave you his heart and soul for the last few years.
It's not like it didn't try to stay.
Exactly.
He wanted to stay.
Exactly.
You didn't
give
give him
me a
anything.
good deal. Give me a multi-year deal
Yeah.
with some money.
Yeah.
Give me some O-linemen.
Yes.
We're
Well,
about to
they
draft
tried
a
to
good
do
quarterback.
O-line, they drafted horrible. They had
Yeah.
two busts.
Yep.
Exactly.
So,
I'm super excited to have him there. I'm
love him.
still like I'm on the fence because I love Swifty. I love
I do
Swifty for the money we paid. That was the only thing that got me. And again, no hatred to Saquon. He deserves every
He's a superstar,
dime
man.
of what he gets paid. But look at how good Swift was last year. Given we do have a stellar
Yeah,
offensive
they got
line.
a great deal.
Yeah.
Chicago got a great deal with that.
But you had Swift last year. Great for us. Gets signed 3 years, $24 million. You've got Saquon 3 years, $37 million. You're looking at $13 million, actually almost $14 million difference in cap space by signing Saquon. Fans of Philly, we are some of the hardcorest fans out there. That's the only thing that I worry about is he's going to come in there with the bar set as high as it's ever been.
And he's ready, baby. That man is ready. He already said, like, I am already, like, ready to be a part of this offense. Like, he's so excited and just...
I want to see another.
But, dude,
I want to see another shady.
they're saying there's all these tweets, all this stuff, like, Ken Saquon went for $2K this year. I was like, don't fucking
I think the
put
good,
this craziness in my head, but I'm really, like, maybe 2,000 all purpose. I could see that.
Yeah.
If the man has, like, a fully healthy year behind that O-line.
I think the good thing for y'all is y'all still got Gainwell.
Yeah.
Yes, and he is a
Yeah.
great compliment.
He is. He
Yes.
really is. I don't think he got enough touches for y'all last year.
He did, though.
But when he did,
He did fantastic.
So I think with him getting older, the injuries, you have somebody that's coming in
Just
that can
in case.
actually
Yeah.
take the load off. He doesn't have to go all off. He doesn't, just like I said, no, the Giants had nobody.
It's a great
Yeah.
point, yeah.
It was him. You have at least somebody. You have wide
Exactly.
receivers.
You don't have to play him every
Also,
play. Exactly.
Kelsey being gone.
Yeah.
It might not be no tush pushing.
Well, what I'm reading right now,
Jergens, baby.
Cam Jurgens
all right.
worked under Kelsey. I don't think the tush push is going anywhere.
Hey,
I don't
think he's going anywhere.
689 snaps, 0 sacks, 0 QB rushes in his career because he's done nothing, just like QBs, playing behind
Well, as
good
long
QBs.
as someone, like I said, now you have a workhorse that can
Yeah.
pound it in
Yeah.
from a yard.
Yeah. So, on top of that, what do you got?
Oh, sorry. I was just going to hit one more thing. I saw this last night. The tush push, Saquon and Jalen bench over squat over 600 pounds. That matters.
Yeah. Oh,
and
yes.
you got
Yep.
Jurgens, who's just as big as Kelsey. He
Yeah.
learns that stunt.
Oh, yeah.
Money.
It's looking well in the backfield in Philadelphia.
Fullback next.
I'll tell you now. So, talking about what y'all just said a minute ago, Chicago got a great deal.
Yes.
They got a great running back.
He's great.
We're not going to really have a ton of time to go into it, but Swift with Fields really gives me the idea of like, man, you guys really should stick with Fields. You're giving him
Yes.
the weapons he needs to be successful. Let him give him the chance to be
Yes.
successful.
I agree with that.
That's a big step. To me personally, they've had productive running backs. They have not had a guy like Swift.
Nope.
Swifty is
And really,
a game changer.
Serviceable is the right
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yes.
and last year, really, like when he was on the Lions, he did so good as that H back. They were giving him little dump offs and stuff. I will say, last year he was a primary running back for us. We didn't really throw him the ball much. I feel like he did great with us, but he wanted to be in a more different atmosphere. We get back to that kind of offense where he's like, catching balls more, getting some receiving yards, and not rushing the ball as much.
Yeah.
Taking those hits as much,
Well, and like I said, Chicago, 3 years, $24 million. They're running an average. He's got guaranteed 15.3, $8 million a year.
They're on the come up.
Yeah, I'm like, that's a great pickup for them. What I feel like is not a great pickup, and this team I feel like is in rebuild right now, so they're just literally trying to fill a couple gaps right here. Tony Pollard to Tennessee.
I agree.
Garbage.
I agree.
Desperation pickup.
You could have spent your money elsewhere.
Yes.
Tajay Spears is the same running back.
Yes.
Younger, not injury prone.
Yeah. And he did great last year.
Yeah.
I think I looked, and his production touching the ball, I think it was 7.3 rushing per attempt.
He probably had that much percentage share.
I think I wrote down, I scratched it out, but I think I wrote down they actually had the same amount of receiving yard. I know that Pollard was hurt, but but he was behind King Henry.
How about Tajay compared to Henry? I think his all-purpose was about the same because Henry obviously doesn't catch.
Yeah.
His all-purpose was
I think
damn near the same.
Had 500 some receiving yards.
Yeah.
It's the same running back.
Yeah.
Why spend that much money?
And you look in 3 years, another 3 year, $24 million. I don't have him down guaranteed anything, is what I'm looking at right now on here. That's the one thing that they have going for them. That's nice. He appears to be one of the only ones that has signed a contract. The only other person who has signed a contract that I don't have a guarantee down for is Aaron Jones, who signed a 1 year contract with Minnesota for $7 million. That's not looking like there's a guarantee on that as well. I don't know if information just hasn't come out yet, if they haven't worked it out. But right now it's looking like Pollard in Tennessee could be a desperation pickup. It could be a pickup that they were like, we just need to fill a roster spot, and we don't want to guarantee you money because we don't want to be in for 3 years with this guy.
Yeah.
Especially if you get hurt again.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I don't see Tennessee doing great for years to come, but as you talked about it earlier, Dallas has done absolutely nothing. He wanted out of there quickly.
Yeah.
Especially last year when he had to run damn near all the balls. Like the year before that, they had Zeke to compliment him. He got great yards, his touchdowns. Last year, they milked him.
Yeah.
And he didn't like that.
Well, and he's had
he would
flashes.
rather go to the Titans.
He's had flashes. Pollard has. I'm not sitting here talking like the dude is a bad running back. He's had flashes. He doesn't work for Dallas, I don't think. And I think Dallas fans will agree that
he was a number two. He was a good number two.
He's not the guy for them. Yeah, he's just not. I think that in the long run, I think it works out for both teams. I think Dallas lets him go to maybe a team he can be a little more productive at in a different scheme. Dallas opens up another running back spot for them to kind of look at. That is what it is. A few other notables. And I know that, don't worry, I haven't forgot about it. I have not forgot. Yeah, I haven't. I wanted to hit on some notables because when we hit the big one, Devin Singletary going from Houston to the Giants, kind of cover a spot for Saquon. He's going to fill a role, but he's not going to be what Saquon was.
Exactly.
He's running 3 years, $16.5 million. Not a bad contract for him. He's guaranteed almost 10 though. That kind of blew me away. Devin Singletary guaranteed $10 million off that. That seemed like a lot.
Pretty solid in Houston last year.
He did.
Pretty solid, and they're getting that O-line together in New York.
So you had Antonio Gibson went to New England, 3 years, $11 million. He's guaranteed 5.3. Not a bad pickup. It's iffy to see which direction New England's going to go this year.
Good compliment to Stevenson, though. He's a good H-back.
Yes, absolutely. Maybe one of the best H-backs out there goes to Washington. Austin Eckler, man.
Yep.
Austin Eckler.
Big move.
So here's the thing. Austin Eckler is 28, or he's 29 years old, basically. He is up there. You haven't really seen his production, especially catching the ball, decline.
No.
I think
he's still in his prime.
He's kind of becoming that freak.
His last year.
What the hell is this guy on? But on top of all that, Austin Eckler, 2 years, $8.3 million. He's guaranteed 4.2, 4.1 a year. That is a freaking steal for a guy like him.
But I couldn't believe that. That's disgraceful to me.
Yeah.
He has one bad year. You realize he led the league in all-purpose yards the last 2 years before that? The guy's an incredible athlete.
Yeah.
He's up there with Saquon. Should at least make 12, 13 a year. Yeah, you're right. They got an absolute steal, but for God's sakes, like, what does it take to pay these guys? Like, he accepted that too? Like, his agent accepted that? Give me a break.
Well, and that's kind of what,
for that style athlete. He's got his own podcast, his show, everything.
Yeah.
Like, dude, he's a big-time name.
Well, and
$4 million?
look at how productive he's been just catching the
Yes.
ball, not running the ball, just catching the ball for the
Still,
Chargers.
For a little dude, he runs.
Dude, he's a
horse.
stud.
He's a horse.
Absolutely.
He's like Darren Sproles. He's got nothing but muscle, man. Like he's a horse.
Well, we've got like I said, we got a few others that hit. Nothing big. Well, you got.
I got something.
He's got something.
My bad.
No, I think with Eckler, I'd like to see Robinson, right? The running back for Washington, right?
Brian.
I'd like to see how that mixes because Robinson does well.
He does.
He does well in Washington.
He does really
It's going to
well.
be good for them.
Yeah, it is, but I want to see where that goes because he was a catching running back too last year.
So then let me ask this. If that's the direction you're looking at, do you think maybe the smaller contract, the age bringing him in, do you think they're fitting him in for more of a third down back role, H-back role?
Yep.
We're
Quite
going to work
possibly.
him catching a ball out of the backfield or work him catching the ball over the middle. Let Robinson take the punishment more, younger guy.
Absolutely.
He's taking the reps, and he's
Absolutely.
getting more of those reps where HB dive up the middle. I'm getting hit by 4 guys. Next play, Eckler comes in, HB swing.
Yep.
You know,
Well,
goes
because if
it out.
that's the case, that contract to me, then that makes that contract a little more understandable.
I think that's why the contract is what it is.
Yeah,
Like,
I get it.
like I
I just
said-
don't know why he accepted that low, man.
Well, I
Like,
mean,
even Derek,
29
Derek
years old,
did
free
age.
agent.
age.
Yeah, 29 years old, and a
I
free
know.
agent. You become worried
Sadly,
about.
sadly, he's gotten hurt a few years.
The last couple of years.
I get it.
Hurt him.
Well, so we also had Naeem Hines went to the Cleveland Browns. Chase Edmonds stayed with Tampa Bay. You had Gus Edwards went to the Chargers.
Gus bust 13
Gus
TDs
bust.
last year.
2 years, $6.5 million, 3.3 guaranteed.
Rejoining Greg Roman.
Exactly. So the bus might have, maybe a little extra fuel in the
That's
bus.
right. That's right.
So to me last year, Gus was a big part of Baltimore.
Yes.
He was
The guy's a tank. He's a bus. The
he
bus,
was so
man.
consistent. He was so consistent.
There's only one bus. It's right here.
He's like, whoa, easy on that.
We'll call him the Gus bus. That dude is the actual bus.
Yeah, that's right.
Gus was very consistent, and if you needed short yardage, you knew
Absolutely.
he was 95% going to get you that 3 yards you need. Very consistent, trustworthy guy. That's my thing, is like, you need a guy you can trust to say, hey, we know the chips are down. It's a tough play.
Yep.
We're going to put it on him. You're going to get hit by 4 guys on this play. They're keying on you. We need the bus. And be like, cool, you need 3 yards. Here's 5.
Yep.
He was kind of undermined last year, but because Eckler was going through his injury spell, Josh Kelly got a lot of playing time last year for the Chargers, and I think that's who's going to start this upcoming year, and Gus is going to complement him in the third down
He's going to have to
Oh,
red
show
zone
something.
role.
He's going to have to show something.
I think Gus
Yeah.
could start. Gus could start
I
for
think
sure.
Gus might start.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Gus
Um,
might start, but he was impressive last year.
When he didn't start. Now,
Right.
when he started,
Yeah, you're right.
when
Yep,
he
you
got
are
to
right.
start, he
He kind of
didn't
got
do
nervous.
anything.
He got in that
didn't do
panic
anything.
mode. Yeah,
But as soon as Eckler came back, he'd run one off for 80 yards.
exactly.
So
Less time on the field, more energy.
Well, and that being said, I think that, I don't really see any other big signings. Oh, wait a minute. Let's talk about
Just
Baltimore almost dropping the ball today, literally.
That's another thing. I'm just sickened. I'm sickened by
now
this
I've
crap.
seen. So here's the thing.
Like,
I've seen
not wanting to pay one of the best
three
guys.
different places that had
Give
that
me a
same
break.
story. Now, with free agency popping off like it did in the last 2 days, it's hard sometimes to know what stories are true and which ones aren't. Here on Sports Bites, we try to be as close to the facts as we possibly can, but
we're
we're
in
only
there.
human.
Oh, yeah.
But I have seen 3 different places on Twitter. 3 different places. Now, I didn't see it from ESPN, and I didn't see it from Barstool or TMZ or any of that stuff, but I did see 3 sources that, after looking at their Twitter accounts, looked like relatively responsible sources. All 3 of them said that Baltimore had offered Derrick Henry $6.5 million a year, $15 million total, and that he had responded asking for $7.5 million. It didn't say what his total was. It just said he responded with $7.5 million,
Yep.
and that the initial reaction from Baltimore was a veto. I don't know if that's true, but 3 different sources said the same thing. They
GM
said
declined
it
immediately.
looked as though they had declined the offer, and so there was about an hour that, as an Eagles fan, I was like, "Holy shit,
Dallas about to
he's
get him."
going to Dallas."
that's exactly
Because I tell
thought
you
he was
now, I
gone.
think all 3 of us agree. Had Baltimore not picked Derrick Henry up,
Oh,
he's
they're
going
kidding.
to Dallas.
Oh,
He is
absolutely.
going to the
100%.
Dallas Cowboys.
100%.
They're going to find a way to bring him in. I think
I
that
might have been
makes.
happier.
But Jones, after that snub, he declined 7 points. I'll pay you at least 8, buddy. Let's go.
Yeah.
Jones should have been in there immediately.
Yeah.
What are
And-
they doing?
And now here's my
100%.
thing. I
What is
haven't
he
looked
doing?
at Dallas's draft space right now, but even with that, I feel like you got a guy like Dak who everything is on him, who needs a solid running game to complement his game. You go to Dak and be like, hey, man, we're willing to get you Derrick in the backfield with you. We got to do some restructuring to get it done.
Yeah.
I feel like if Dak is anything close to a smart quarterback, he'd be like, hey, man, I'm not playing for free, but let's work something out. Maybe we can work the bulk of that money out through my contract. Maybe a couple other guys can give a little bit here and there, and we can build a team.
Not like they're paying much running backs anyway.
Well, like I said, I will say Dallas offense runs better when they actually run the ball.
Absolutely.
When they commit to running the ball, they actually win ball games.
Yep.
I like I said, I would have rather had them go to Dallas. I know y'all wouldn't. It's
Yeah.
just in
Yeah.
division.
Yeah,
Right.
But the Steelers picking up Queen, that helps.
Yeah, how about that?
Yeah.
That helps.
Yeah.
That helps Henry.
He gets to play Baltimore
Oh,
twice
okay,
a year
I
now.
can't wait. We have someone to stop King Henry.
Exactly.
Well, that was the big one. There was an hour that I was sweating at work. I could not believe it when I saw the notification about them not that it looked like they were going to walk away from it, and I was like, something. I just couldn't understand it, which I was loving it at the time secretly deep down because I was like, man, we're going to spend an hour talking about this on the podcast tonight if they let him go. Like, we could do a whole episode like Ace Ventura, like he talks about the all-time biggest bonehead plays in the NFL would have been
Absolutely.
them letting him go at that point. I mean, both sides had showed interest.
I thought it was a lock since Titan said, "Hey, we're done."
That's what I
thought it was a lock.
That's what I thought.
A lock
Dude.
with the Ravens.
That one, and
They
again,
almost blew it.
And
Yeah.
again, there is the possibility that maybe some of that information isn't 100%. From what we saw, though, that's what it looked like. Multiple sources were saying. You never know. If you're not an agent or you're not working for the front office, you never really know. Dude, Derrick Henry could have been sitting in the front office with the GM and a couple guys having a brewski, laughing about like, hey, man, you should put on Twitter that or that you vetoed my offer. And, like, they're laughing about it.
Yeah.
But for us, for guys who just watch sports, I think all of us were like, is that for real? That can't not be real right now. That cannot be real. So when I got the notification that they had signed him, I was like, man, that they have plenty of weapons around. They don't have to have Derrick Henry.
It's a good compliment.
But damn, he gives them one of the most lethal backfields with him. You've got Keaton coming back off that injury. You've got Lamar. I mean, dude, you've got great players to run the ball with. You've got one of the best rushing attacks in the NFL if you pick them up. I think they made the right move.
Get about Dobbins. Too.
Yes,
Yep.
I think they made the right move. Y'all got anything else on Derrick Henry or running backs in general right now?
Well, I'll say real quick that the whole running back thing sickens me. And I get Derrick Henry, 29, 30 years old. I think he's getting more than midway through his career. He's a bruiser, man.
Mm-hmm.
He has over 200, 300 rushes a year, always 1,000, always getting 10-plus touchdowns. In my opinion, he's still worth more than $8 million.
Yeah.
200-plus rushes a year?
Yeah.
I'm getting the ball so many times and getting paid chump change. And like I said, these receivers, third-string receivers, barely touching the ball all year is getting paid the same amount.
Yeah.
It's sad. It's sad.
Well, we do have a few notables that have not been picked up yet. Nothing like what we've already seen, but you've got Cordero Patterson, 32 years old. Productivity's been kind of down last few years anyway.
Yeah.
Alexander Madison, I could see 25 years old. I could see somebody maybe going after him as a backup role.
Got to
got-
fix the fumbling problem.
Right, yeah. That's a
Fast,
big
but
one.
Yeah, he gives up the ball.
Yep.
Ezekiel Elliott, 28 years old. I don't know. I just don't know who goes after him.
I don't know.
He's
What if
got a
the-
very.
What if the boys pick him back up? I mean, I could see it.
As of right now,
Yeah.
What running back
they
is
need?
left?
They need someone.
They
And
do.
Zeke strived in that offense. So.
I'll tell you what running back is left that really kind of opens my eyes. Two of them. I think you'll like this too. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, 24 years old. he is an open free agent right now. According to this, he is an open free agent right now.
Who did I hear earlier? They were like, "Oh, we're not going to take him, but they might take Clyde Edwards-Helaire." Like,
he kind of
really?
brings an interesting aspect to the still availables. Another 24-year-old running back who's kind of had some ups and downs the last couple of years, who I think is he could still have some good productivity in the right package or in the right system. Cam Akers.
yeah, of course.
Cam Akers, he just needs to find a place he's happy with.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's his thing. Do I think he's a bit of a diva? Yeah.
I think Kyron just outshined him this last year. Kyron was just a little bit better.
It's that Florida State thing, right?
Probably.
He did great at Florida State. Don't forget.
One that I really love, and yes, I'm biased. I love the guy, though. And I feel like at 28 years old, he could still be productive and could be a steal for a team who needs a guy in a very specific role. Boston Scott.
I forgot he was a free agent.
Boston Scott, at 28 years old, very shifty running back.
Yeah.
He reminded me a lot. There for a couple of years, he reminded me a lot of Darren Sproles. His running style just...
When he got in, he was electric, man.
Yeah.
Shifty.
Yeah, exactly. And so I think that's an interesting one. You know, you got Kareem Hunt, Rashad Penny, Matt Breida, J.K. Dobbins. Dobbins, 25
Yeah, I guess
years
he is a
old.
free agent. He's coming off that bad injury.
Latavius Murray, man, I didn't realize this. Latavius Murray's a free agent. Now, he did, come off a season with Buffalo. He got some touches. He wasn't the most productive back, but he got some touches.
He got a lot more touches than he should have.
Yeah, he did.
Latavius Murray is 34 years old.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
You know he was playing with Drew Brees, right?
Yeah, Latavius Murray,
yeah.
To me, Latavius Murray, if you can get him for a steal, you bring him in and you say, hey, you're going to get 2 touches a game. You're going to work with these young guys.
Yep.
He's that kind of player. You're going to work with these young guys. Oh, he's
a beast.
Big
When you play a
dude.
complimentary role on every
Big
team,
freaking
too,
dude.
your health is a lot better because you're not having as many reps.
I think the only thing that we didn't mention, if you don't mind me
throw it in.
Zach Moss going to the Bengals, which led to Joe Mixon's release.
Yes,
What
yes.
in the world?
Yeah, and that...
He just released Mixon?
I don't know if you're
What
trying
the
to.
crap?
I don't know if you're trying to free up cap space to
that's
maybe try to
But
go.
come on. Mixon
even
is a
then-
great player.
Even
He's
then,
getting old too. But he's getting old too. And if
28, 27,
if
28?
you want to,
Zach Moss or
Mixon.
Mixon.
Zach Moss signed with the Bengals, which led to Joe Mixon's release.
Zach Moss still
and
a
Mixon
great
got
player.
traded to the Texans today.
Mixon did?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mixon's on the Texans?
Yes.
Yeah. And Zach Moss going to Cincinnati. So he had a productive season last year. 26 years old, 2 years, $8 million, $3 million of it guaranteed. It's a good fit. I don't think they needed to get rid of Mixon.
No, absolutely not.
I understand one thing. As far as a front office looks at the fans and looks at the players, looks at everything, Mixon has been a great running back.
Absolutely.
But he had the height bar up here when he came out of college.
Yeah.
They expected him to be stellar. And he's
talking
always
that cash.
played at a high level. But to me, Mixon has never crossed the line into that elite status. He's a top 5 running back. He's never really, if he's ever been there, he touched it for a second and then was back out of it.
He touched it a little bit that Super Bowl year.
But that's what I'm saying. That was about it. Like, he had the flashes, but it's another one you never know. He goes to the Texans. You never know. Resurgence in his career.
Texans have made some
Texans
moves.
are just
I know we're not going to talk
right
a lot
now.
about defense. They've made so much moves
They
on
had
defense.
Stroud and Anderson last year in the draft.
Yep.
And they're about to make more crazy draft picks, I guarantee.
Yep.
Well, moving on.
right,
This one
let's do it.
is a good one because this one is going to be a lot of what ifs.
Okay.
Not a lot of
Question
absolutes, a lot of what ifs right now. Right now, the number 1 and number 2 guys that have been signed at wide receiver for free agency are both on matching contracts. Darnell Mooney goes from Chicago to Atlanta. He's going to work with Cousins. Great fit.
Yep.
Atlanta, as you were saying earlier, dude, stacked with weapons right now.
Yep.
I mean, dude, they are absolutely stacked with weapons. You also had Gabe Davis going from Buffalo to Jacksonville.
I like that.
Both players, 3 years, $39 million. Mooney guaranteed 26, Davis guaranteed 24, still at 13 a year. Two very interesting but very productive moves, I feel like, for both those players.
Absolutely. Especially for Gabe Davis going to the Jags, that they're going to move on from Ridley. That 1 year.
Wonder where he's about to go.
I think I think it's New England. That's what I saw before we started.
Yeah, I've heard that the talks have been there.
He's about to go there.
Keeping Zay Jones and lost the other one, wide receiver's name.
Christian
There you
Kirk,
go.
yeah.
I mean, those two guys, they can cover the slants. I mean, Gabe Davis.
I think they got Marvin Jones Jr. back last year too.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, Gabe Davis, go down the field, go. You know.
Well, and Trevor needs weapons.
Absolutely.
The more weapons you give him,
Gabe's
the better he's going to do. Huh?
I mean,
yeah. Oh,
what do you have a 4-touchdown game in the playoffs a few years ago?
You could guarantee in Buffalo that if Steph was struggling, Gabe was picking it up. Gabe was picking it up.
Absolutely.
I mean, and he did. And I'll tell you now, Rachel and that that side of the family being from Buffalo, they're upset about Gabe Davis. They are upset about Gabe Davis going.
Yeah.
He was
their number 2.
Yeah. He's a solid guy. And I've got one that I'm going to touch on that I think is a possibility, but we're going to worry about that later. So you like Mooney in Atlanta. Cousins throwing him the ball. You think he's a great addition?
It's another good weapon for him.
Yep.
He's a deep threat. He hasn't got hurt any time in his career. I mean, when he gets the ball thrown to him, he usually catches it.
They're both young guys, too. Gabe at 25, Mooney at 26. They've got a lot of longevity left in their career.
You got to have someone across from London to take the pressure off.
Yes.
Yep. That's
yes.
And if you're going to throw, finally to the tight end, why his name keeps slipping my mind, I don't know. But Kyle Pitts, thank you. If you're going to finally start throwing to him, that's just another weapon to take your eyes off of the main guy.
Yep. And he was even saying earlier they signed Gerald Everett, who's another good receiving tight end.
Yes.
And they can line both of those guys up. London, Mooney, Bajan. Who are you going to guard?
Yep.
That's all 5 of those weapons. Dangerous.
Algier coming
exactly. And he's a powerhouse.
Yep.
So let's see. We've also got you've got Devin Duvernay coming from Baltimore. He signed with Jacksonville as well. That was they're stacking some wide receivers in Jacksonville, Florida, baby.
Duvernay's solid.
Yeah, absolutely. 2 years, $8.5 million, no guarantees. Devontae Parker came from New England to Philadelphia. 31 years old. It's a solid. It's solid to give us some depth.
He did. Yeah,
I think it's solid to give us some
We
depth.
needed that third string, that quality third string guy that can just come in and do work for us. You know?
Yeah, absolutely. We had Noah Brown re-signing. Jalen Reagor re-signed.
Noah Brown's back with the Texans.
Yeah, stayed in Houston 1 year for
He
1 year,
stays
$4
healthy.
million.
That dude's dangerous.
Yep. And so that was really, you had Isaiah McKenzie went from the Colts to the Giants. They haven't even released any contract information.
Yeah.
I don't know what the deal is with that one. They said, I don't know if maybe negotiations were going and they stopped and they're like, he's coming, but he's not set up or whatnot. He's the only one that I don't have any kind of information
for them.
right.
I'll see it.
Brandon Powell re-signed again. He's re-signed for $1 million or for 1 year, but no money has been set up yet. So they know they're keeping him. And Gunner re-signed with the Giants. Another 1 year, no money's really been set up. So here we go with some what ifs on the wide receiver market, and this is where it really starts getting interesting. Because my biggest what if isn't even a free agent. Let's talk about, we got Allen Robinson, 30 years old. What if? Available. Odell Beckham, 31 years old from Baltimore. What if? Curtis Samuel, 27 from Washington. What if? That's a big one for me. Curtis Samuel's a productive receiver.
Yeah. He can run and pass.
Absolutely.
Run and catch, rather.
Yes. Tyler Boyd from Cincinnati, 29.
That's who I thought we were about to get as our third string. There was a lot
Tyler
of talk,
Boyd.
a lot of talk, and he's a solid receiver.
He is. Let's see. You have Marquez Valdez-Scantling, 29. What if?
Right.
So we are already 5 receivers who can add some good depth to a team.
Exactly.
Yep.
Cedric Wilson, DJ Chark.
Yep.
He could be solid somewhere with
healthy.
Yes,
he was on the Panthers last year, so I guarantee wherever he goes, it'll be a little bit better.
Mecole Hardman, Calvin Ridley.
Mecole Hardman, he just won the Super Bowl.
Yeah, yeah. Calvin Ridley, 29 years old. He's the big one right now.
Yeah, he's huge. I love him so much. I really wish we would have got him,
He's-
but we're not going to.
Such a big what if because, I mean, he really,
Where is he about to go?
Like I said, I think I saw New England.
yeah.
Now that with them losing Devontae Parker to y'all, I think that's a good fit. If you're bringing in a quarterback, which you are because you traded away Mac Jones to the
Yep.
Jags, I think getting yourself an actual one. They haven't had a receiver.
No.
When's their last top receiver? Moss? Like
Yeah.
not tight end.
Yeah.
Oh, Edelman. And
Okay.
But,
Okay.
got to give it to Edelman.
Okay.
I
But
mean,
yeah,
Edelman, but
non-slot,
yeah, I'm like, you're
5
looking
foot
slot
nine.
with you. You're talking about a one,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
I'm talking about
One
6'2".
Yeah.
Yeah, Moss was the last one, for sure.
So, I mean, I'm not sure how tall Calvin Ridley is. I could be talking out my butt, but, I think that's something.
He can play
that,
outside and slot.
Yeah.
He plays both.
Like I said, his footwork last
solid.
year, when I saw that video on Twitter, chopping his feet, just gone.
Yeah, dude. He's incredible.
Yeah,
He's one of the biggest names out there still. I can't believe he's still out there.
Well, and so my big one right now is not a free agent, is a player who who got franchise tagged, was not happy about it, has expressed massive interest in not wanting to be at the team that he's on
I'm
anymore.
excited to talk about this.
T. Higgins. I understand where T. Higgins is coming
Whoa.
from. You've got Jamar Chase. You don't want to be in his shadow your whole career.
You don't.
You're
Yeah,
an
he wants to be
excellent
a number one.
You're an excellent receiver. You deserve to show the world how excellent of a receiver you are. You deserve the money.
Yes.
You worked your ass off. You deserve the money. You don't want to be there. You've made it clear that you want to be traded. Usually, and we've seen it, usually when a player gets to this level, the team is like, all right, we're going to make this happen because, quite honestly, we're not going to spend money on you if you're not going to play. If you're not going to play your heart out, we're not going to spend the money on you. There's no reason to keep you on. So, I saw 4 quarterbacks. I think it was either on Twitter or on podcast. T. Higgins said 4 different quarterbacks that he wants to play for. Lamar was one of them.
I was literally about to say, I know where he's going.
Lamar is one of them.
That ain't
See,
happening.
I know where he's going.
That ain't happening.
He's
Ooh.
going. He's
He ain't-
going.
No, I'm talking
Nah.
about he ain't going to the Ravens.
He's going.
Nah,
He's going to go to Baltimore.
no, he's not. You want to know where he's going? Hold on.
They just dropped.
Alright,
They
well-
just dropped Odell and Duvernay. They need a receiver. Lamar's not going to do great with
But,
all these
dude, they
no-name
still-
guys coming
They got
every year.
Flowers still.
Yeah.
One guy and Andrews.
If he wants
I'm like,
to
Who
dude,
else? Who else receives? Yeah, Odell and Duvernay are gone.
okay.
Who else receives besides Flowers and Andrews?
But are you taking the number 2 role again?
Or
Zay dominated. Are you going?
oh, Zay.
Yeah. Are you?
I
are
did
you-
forget about Zay.
So are you taking a? I mean, you're literally lateral move into division.
Yep.
You don't want to trade him in division.
T's like one of those guys, though, just like you said with Ridley. Zay is a great slot receiver, and he could be technically their number one, but T is going to be that outside guy who has the jump balls, who
Yeah.
has the deep throws.
So you think
He
Baltimore?
wants
Do you have
that.
any? Do you have anywhere else?
I had Baltimore just because he wants a winning atmosphere. As I wrote it down, I could not believe that he wants to get away from Burrow because how good Burrow is.
Mhm.
And him and Chase are such a good duo. Like, he doesn't realize Chase opens him up.
Mhm.
He opens Chase up. They complement each other so well, and their tight ends, Boyd, Mixon, these last few years, they've been almost unstoppable. So it was very confusing. Mixon's gone. Tyler Boyd's gone. Higgins wants to be gone. What's next? Like, it's just going to be Burrow and Chase pretty soon.
Let me throw this in here. T. Higgins reportedly requested a trade, sparking rumors he could be set to join the Kansas City Chiefs.
Oh, my
But
Lord.
his recent snub to Patrick Mahomes may suggest he sees himself playing somewhere else if
Everyone
he decides to
on
leave.
Cincy
So,
hates
you have Mahomes.
They hate Patrick.
Nope.
They hate him so much.
Nope.
You also have a great friend of his, very close friend of his, who plays quarterback in the NFL. A man by the name of Trevor Lawrence. Unfortunately,
They
Trevor
signed-
Lawrence's team has 23 wide receivers on it now.
Yeah.
They signed 3 players.
So they are set at wide receiver. You don't have a need to go there.
Nah.
Lamar. Who doesn't want to play for MVP? Right?
I still say they were the number one team last year. The freaking NFL's rigged. They run 6 times in the playoffs. That's why they lost. Sorry, that's why they lost.
My thing is Baltimore. Yeah, you didn't pay him a ton, but you paid the man the money. You just got Derrick Henry.
Yeah,
there are some
good deal.
There are 100%. There are some things that Baltimore is spending money on. T. Higgins is going to need a decent contract to come play.
Yeah.
He also threw in that he would love to play with C.J. Stroud.
Mind blow. I think they already got their number one in Nico, though.
Yep.
And Tank Dell, and they re-signed Noah Brown. Dalton Schultz got re-signed.
They proved last year that they
Joe
don't
Mixon.
need help at wide receiver right now.
No, sir.
Maybe down the stretch this year they will, but right now, without injury and anything, they're pretty solid.
CJ can crop whoever.
Before he added... Oh, you got something?
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was
I'm
gonna
ready
say-
to jump in.
Before T. Higgins added his final quarterback that he would love to play for, who just cut one of their biggest wide receiver targets or let him go to Jacksonville, or was it Jacksonville? That went to Jacksonville. He said he would love to play with Josh Allen throwing him the ball. T. Higgins to Buffalo.
Whoa. I didn't think about that one. They need a receiver badly.
I haven't seen that one.
Buffalo
That makes sense.
They need
Josh Allen.
That makes sense. It
Josh
makes a
Allen
lot of sense.
just restructured his contract yesterday. Opened $6.9 million, I think, in cap space.
And Knox
Dawson Knox
Yep.
restructured too. They have the money.
I mean, you saw it last year. They need help with Diggs.
They have
Diggs is
the
going to
money.
be double covered
They
all
have
game.
the need.
Yeah.
They have the spot, and they have a place because they are the kind of team who is not like Diggs is the number one, and you'll catch what he can't get.
They're gonna be
They are
1A,
very
1B.
clearly a team that is like, hey, we spread the ball around. If you're open, you're going to get the ball.
They even called Davis a 1B.
Mhm.
He was 1A to Steph's 1B.
Like I said, that
Vice
goes
versa, sorry.
back to the point. Do you want to become a one,
Mhm.
or do you want to go behind another top tier wide receiver? Now I don't know. I saw some things a couple weeks ago or maybe a month ago, where Diggs wanted out.
Yeah.
Have you seen
Mhm.
any? Okay. I mean,
I saw that.
that could lead the way. But I have a couple teams, if you don't mind.
Do it up.
What I think.
Do it up, bro.
So
That's
one
you,
of the
baby.
So one of the things I see for T. Higgins, maybe Arizona.
They need a wide receiver.
They need a wide receiver. So if the draft goes the way that I think that it's going to go, if it's going to go 1, 2, 3 quarterback, if the Bears do what they think they're going to do, take Caleb Williams. Arizona's getting Harrison. They're taking him at 4. You team him up with T. Higgins, and as I said earlier, they have draft picks going into the draft that they can trade.
Don't forget who else they have. You remember who else the Cardinals have at receiver?
Hollywood.
DeAndre Hopkins.
Is he on that?
Yes, sir.
Is he?
He's
They
with
saw
Kyler.
there?
He's with Kyler Murray.
Is he still on
Him,
the team?
Harrison, and Higgins
All right.
would be the lethal. That's the best wide receiver trio in the league.
Nah.
He's-
Tennessee Titans.
That's right.
He got traded.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's
All right, that's what I
yeah.
thought.
Sorry.
Yeah.
That's what I thought. I was like,
See,
No, I had to only-
I was in Manita today, so I missed like a few hours of the freaking
That's it.
free agency, and evidently it was ding, ding, ding.
the time jump forward.
Okay, so just to recap, he went to the Titans.
That was last year, though. He was there last year.
Really?
Yeah.
What the heck am I thinking?
I don't know.
So he was
I
signed
didn't
by the
watch much
Titans.
Titans game last year.
Yeah, he was signed by the Titans as a free agent on July 24th of last year. He was released by the Cards.
Okay,
So, with that being said,
correct.
he goes to the
Yeah,
Cardinals.
you're right. What the heck am I?
Harrison
Same
That's-
thing
he
I
was
was
on the
with
Cardinals.
Najee.
and
He
Hollywood
was on
Brown.
the Cardinals. You're right.
That's 3 studs right there.
You're right about that.
The
Good
other
call.
one, I had 2 more. Panthers are out because they traded
Yeah.
for Mr. Stone Hands himself. That's
Yep.
what I call him.
Yep.
But the other one is the Chargers. I can see the Chargers making a play. You got Mike Williams, Keenan Allen. They're getting older.
Yeah.
They're injury prone. They get injured all the time.
A lot of talks about Williams' career coming pretty close to the end at this point.
His legs are too long,
Yeah.
man.
So you're looking for a top tier quarterback. You got it.
Yep.
Obviously, you just saved some money with Eckler. So maybe
That's a good move.
Winging
That is.
your way in.
That is, I like that.
I said, that's a good spot too.
Yeah. Herbert's solid.
Yes.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
He would make him number one immediately.
I mean, it's not like you're jumping from a top tier quarterback in Joe Burrow to a non-top tier.
Right.
Yeah,
Herbert's up there.
Yep.
Yeah.
And he might not be top 5, but he's still top 10. He's still up there.
He's top 10 for sure.
Yeah, and I think Herbert in the next couple of years is gonna. This will be the years that if he shines, he's gonna shine bright.
He just barely missed the playoffs.
Yeah. Well, that's
not this year, last year.
I like that. I like the Chargers. I like Arizona. I like the Chargers idea just because that's a flashy idea, right?
It is
a good idea.
That's. I still have to say though, I love the idea of him in Buffalo. I don't care what anybody says. I love the idea of T. Because here's the thing:
wherever he goes,
when you
it's gonna
said,
be big.
"Do you really want to move into that role at behind number one again?" I feel like if he goes to Buffalo, he's not behind him; he's beside him.
Right.
I feel like that's the way they do it in Buffalo.
I mean, I do see that, but he still produces. Oh goodness, he still produces at a top rate beside his counterparts now.
Yeah.
What do we got?
I knew that it had happened. I didn't see the number. So, we're talking about players not getting paid a ton of money other than quarterbacks and stuff really right at this point. I'm looking at the signings for tight ends. Yeah, Colby Parkinson going to the Rams from Seattle. $7.5 million a year, $15.5 guaranteed, $22.5 million. And now I'm looking at Noah Fant.
Colby Parkinson's getting paid that much money.
Yeah. How about this?
Goes back to your point.
Noah Fant got re-signed in Seattle.
Sakes.
He got re-signed in Seattle for 2 years, $21 million. He's getting paid $10.5 million a year.
I want you to go back and look at Noah Fant's stats last year. And then you look at Derrick Henry. Look at Derrick Henry's.
Like, that's crazy to me. That's crazy. Yeah, it's a publicity thing. It's a fashion show in the NFL sometimes, man. Tight ends are not flashy.
Nope. There's only one flashy tight end.
But damn it if they're not the guys who bail you out every time.
Running backs will never be flashy because they won't have enough fucking money.
Yeah,
they won't have these big homes, all these flashy watches and rings and bullshit. They're going to have just enough money to do what they keep doing every year.
The 3 tight ends that Seattle had last year just made $57 million. The 3 tight ends.
What in the world is Colby Parkinson?
Will Dissly went to the Chargers for $14 million, 3 years, $14 million, with 10 guaranteed.
Did he have a catch?
10 guaranteed.
Did he have a catch last year? Did this guy just make $14 million off 0 catch year? Like, that's incredible.
Yeah,
that's all I'm going to say. It's going to make me sick. I'm going to puke in a minute.
So the only tight end I wrote down on my sheet is Irv Smith Jr.
Yeah.
From the Bengals to the Chiefs. If he could stay healthy.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a good replacement.
That's a good athlete.
That's a good replacement.
And he's a steal.
Yes. How much was
it? 1 year, 1.2, well, 1.3 basically. Guaranteed $384,000.
That's a show me you can stay healthy.
Yeah.
It's like, we're going to pay you 1.3 to sit probably 98% of the year on the bench.
Absolutely.
If Travis needs a breather, you need to go in.
If Travis wants his Gatorade or kiss his girlfriend in the middle of the game, you can come in then.
Yep.
I've also got. I know we talked about it for a second. Gerald Everett going to Chicago, 2 years, $12 million, 6.1 guaranteed, $6 million a year. Charlie Warner.
Wait, didn't you say Gerald Everett was going to Atlanta earlier?
No, he's going to Chicago.
You told me Atlanta.
Did I say Atlanta? I meant Chicago.
Told me Atlanta. Okay. I was about to say, because him and Pitts, wow. All right, so that makes a lot more sense.
Yeah.
But still, Chicago, him and Cole Kmet.
Yeah, that's what I think we were talking about earlier was Kmet. I don't think we were talking about Pitts. I thought we were talking about Kmet and Everett.
You were talking about Atlanta earlier. You were just all flustered, bro. I'm telling you.
Yeah, dude.
He heard Atlanta earlier.
Did I say Atlanta? That's my apologies.
Because I was like, Gerald Everett and Pitts. Holy
there's so much in these last 2 days.
Yeah, I mean, that's an easy slip up. You realize we've done this for an hour and 15 minutes, and we have talked about quarterbacks, running backs, receivers, and tight ends. We're
Haven't
about
even
to
talked about defense.
Yeah,
We
we're
really
about
need to hit
fly
on
through this.
defense.
We're going to right now. But Jared Everett, 2
Big
years, $12 million.
names.
You got Logan Thomas. Not a lot of guys really that are jumping out at me. You got Jimmy Graham at 37 years old. You got Zach Ertz going to Washington. I joked on a Washington fan that's a good buddy of mine,
They're
Josh.
rebuilding.
Yeah, they're rebuilding. I was like, the funny thing is, I was like, they got Mariota, they got Austin Eckler, and they got Zach Ertz. And I was like, all these teams are signing free agents. Y'all are shopping at the Goodwill right now. But hey,
They
you
get
gotta,
Williams. It's a solid backup. Eckler is very solid.
and if any of
Ertz-
those guys blow up, you made your money.
Absolutely.
Like you got your money's worth out of it.
Yeah, man.
Let's see.
Great player still.
So you got offensive linemen. Not a lot I wanted to hit on, and I'm not saying it's because they're not. The contracts for these guys are astronomical.
Yeah, the defense just overpowers
Robert Hunt.
any offense.
Robert Hunt went to Carolina 5 years, $100 million, $63 million guaranteed.
The guard, right?
You said
Yeah.
offensive, right?
Huh?
You said offensive line.
Yeah.
The guard.
Got to protect your quarterback.
Yeah.
And that was the first thing they did immediately.
I'm going to pronounce his name wrong. Mike Onwenu stayed in New England, 3 years, $57 million, $38 guaranteed. Damian Lewis went to Carolina from Seattle, 4 years, $53 million. Jesus Lord. Carolina just spent $153 million on 2 offensive linemen. That's what, I mean.
Like I said earlier, that's what they.
And guess
somebody-
what their first round pick's going to be?
Somebody was
Offensive
thinking.
lineman.
That's who I was talking about. I knew that I had Matt Hennessy went from
Hennessy.
Atlanta to Philadelphia, center.
Okay.
I knew we signed somebody at that.
Okay.
Mitch Morse, Buffalo to Jacksonville, 2 years, $10 million.
Solid.
He's worth more than that in my book.
He is. He's a great player.
John Runyon to the Giants, 3 years, $30 million, $17 million guaranteed. Good pickup for the Giants. Yeah, I mean, you've got a few other guys in here. It's not a.
How about our boy, man? You got to hit on him. Who did we extend this past week, man? Or yesterday? Sorry,
Are you
everything was
talking
yesterday.
about Landon?
Yeah,
oh, yeah.
Dickerson 4-year extension.
Yeah.
Dude is an absolute stud. He's done nothing but good things for us.
There's a guard that I miss, but he wouldn't be worth the money anyway. But I just missed him because I loved saying his name. Halapulavati Vaitai! But he's available. So maybe one day we'll
right.
see him. All right, so
Big defensive.
Yep.
we're going straight defense. I'm not even splitting them up. We're just going straight defense.
Sounds great.
We're obviously the biggest signing so far on defense. Chris Jones signs an astronomical contract, and Christian Wilkins is like, hold my beer for a second,
Yeah,
guys.
yeah.
That's right.
Hold my beer. Let me
let's
get my
go.
agent involved in this. 4
He's
years,
just as good a
$110
player.
million guaranteed, $82.75 million guaranteed. Christian Wilkins to the Las Vegas Raiders, working with Max Crosby.
Instant
They
impact.
have one of the most, if not the most, lethal
Yep.
defensive lines in the league now.
Absolutely.
I agree.
Like I said, that signing alone puts them right at the top.
Absolutely.
The one thing is, what are the Dolphins? Like, they've lost a lot. I know that they've done a
Yeah.
little bit of re-signing within the past couple hours, but that's a big loss.
Yeah,
How about
dude.
right when Fangio left? Wilkins left.
Yep.
Because he played well behind him.
Yep.
Exactly.
That one to me was huge. A really big one that I saw today that I liked. Xavier McKinney to
I
Green
really
Bay.
wanted him, but then we got Gardner Johnson.
Yep, $68
who we'll
million,
talk
4
about in a
years.
second.
That was a big one. Let's see. I don't even know if I have. Ronald Darby went to Jacksonville. We love Ronald, man.
Solid player.
Yep. Gardner Johnson did sign with Philadelphia. He signed in 3 years. They don't have his money on here, but
Doesn't
I do
matter.
know
It's going to be nice.
his
He wanted that
contract-
money last year, and he didn't get it.
his
They're going to
contract.
give it to him now, baby.
Yep.
I must have already clicked. Yeah, his contract had come out. They don't have it on here yet.
When they saw last year our big gashes from the freaking safety position,
Yeah.
if he would
Yeah.
have been there last year, that crap wouldn't have happened.
Yep.
So I'm not saying we would have won it all with him, but a lot of those big plays would not have happened.
As we were starting the podcast, Danielle Hunter
Yep.
Goes to Houston from Minnesota, 2 years, $49 million.
He's nice. Real nice.
Insane.
These numbers, these
the
huge numbers you're saying are freaking unbelievable.
Yeah, one of the smaller pickups that I don't think is going to help a team, but I guess they had to fill a role somewhere. Inside linebacker coming from Baltimore to Pitt, Patrick Queen, $41 million 3 years.
That's
great
that's
pickup
a great
for you
pickup.
guys. Great pickup.
That's top 3 defensive.
Like I said,
Yeah.
the Steelers don't do a lot during the offseason. We don't pick up a lot. Like I said, you joked about kickers and punters. I'm glad to get the worst punter off my team.
When you told me before,
But,
right when you got here,
like
I was
said,
shocked.
It's a great pickup. We've been looking for a middle linebacker since he tragically got hurt on the field, Shazier.
Yep.
We haven't been able to fill it. We've had a couple busts in the middle linebacker position. I'm glad to get somebody to square it up.
Absolutely.
Dude,
To have a someone that's going to take that leadership role. He knows the division. He's nasty. He flies around the field. That is Steeler football.
and you talk about Crosby and Wilkins duo, T.J. Watt, and that man.
Yep.
Just as tough, if not tougher. Like,
Absolutely.
Come on.
Like I said,
Those two are going to be lethal.
If Hayward can stay healthy,
Yes.
do what he does, like I said, those three right there.
Sky's the limit for you guys.
Yeah, man.
Like
All
I
these
said.
teams, I'm telling you, all these teams that were kind of on the back burner or on the uprise last year, they're going to be up here this year.
Mhm.
They're making change quick, and that's what you got to do as a team. Like, to stay with the trend, you got to make moves.
Yep.
Like, you got to make endless moves, not just one or two. Keep going. Keep going.
Absolutely.
Go into the
Like I said,
draft with momentum.
Absolutely.
Not to mention Minka too.
Yeah.
Can't forget Minka.
Because these guys in the
Yeah.
draft, you got to think when they're seeing all these free agent moves. Like, dang, this team became good
Yep.
real fast.
Yep.
Yeah.
Maybe I should go there. Holy
Yeah.
crap!
Yep.
All these minds are rolling right now in the draft, so it's going to be crazy. It's going to be wild.
Like I said, one thing, I mean, just going off the Steelers defense, just talking the Steelers a little bit. I know the Deontay Johnson trade, we get a cornerback in return, Dante Jackson. That's our struggle.
Yep.
Is cornerback.
Yep.
We got a great draft pick last year. I think, being a homer, Cam Hart is a blue chip. Just being a homer, watching him for the last 4 years play at Notre Dame, he's going to be a 4th, 5th round steal.
Mhm.
If you go look at his Senior Bowl tape, he went up against the best receivers. He dominated most of those receivers.
Yeah.
At Senior Bowl, he did really well. I think he produced in the combine like one of the top cornerbacks of I know that they did like the top last 20 years. He's in the top 50 of what he performed at. He's going to be a diamond. I'm hoping we get him.
Well,
Yes,
and
sir.
Chris Bailey said it today when the move was made. He was like, "Watch out for him." He was like, "When they have a strong defense, Pittsburgh is dangerous."
Absolutely.
He said, "When they get back to having that defense, they are dangerous."
They really weren't bad last year.
Nope.
T.J. Watt went down at the end of the year.
Yeah. Oh, dude, y'all just had to fill a few of those.
Yeah.
Just get them a little.
T.J. Watt in the playoffs, they might have won that game.
One that we've kind of talked not crazy about but I loved. Bryce Huff coming to Philadelphia.
I don't know if you watched him as much
Dude.
as I did last year because he was on the Jets, but that defense was top 5,
Yeah.
incredible,
Yep.
and they kept them in the games because obviously their quarterback is so much ass. But that dude is literally a brick shit house, and I'll compare him to Hassan Reddick because he is the same exact style player. He's quick,
Yeah.
gets off the ball lightning fast, and he's nothing but muscle, dude. There's he gets more holding calls on him than anyone in the NFL. Him and Hassan Reddick. They're going to be side by side. Hopefully, if
Yeah.
we can extend Reddick, those two side by side, and Jalen in the middle, watch out for us. There's going to be a lot of good defensive lines this year.
I'll say it'll be nuts. But yeah, defensive lines are going to be insane this year. I feel
Yeah,
like looking
man.
at some of these. You had Zadarius Smith re-signed in Cleveland.
We need to get that line.
Gross
back,
Maldos
though.
went from the Panthers to the 49ers.
Yep,
That's a
yep.
big pickup for the 49ers.
Great pickup for the 49ers.
Yeah, just
Niners also got Leonard
getting all
Floyd.
Panthers'
Yep.
best
That
player
was a
pretty
good pickup
much.
for them.
I know
I mean,
that-
Niners are they're going to be.
They're just adding little
Yeah.
key parts, little,
I know we
little
talked about
roles
the
right
Texans. Jeff Okudah going to the Texans.
Yep.
It's another weapon.
Yep.
Another shutdown.
They're going to be a top team next year.
Or was it? What
without
was
a
it?
doubt.
I did like Daquan Jones re-signing in Buffalo. I liked that.
Yeah.
He's going to be great for them. And to see him stay there, they love those players that want to stay. Kevin Byard
It's all right.
was not.
I thought he was going to be a little bit better. They hyped him up a lot.
They hyped him up a ton.
And, he just wasn't ready.
Yeah, I think that. I mean, you come into a new system.
you
you
come
got to
into a
learn
new
it like
scheme,
this and be expected to jump
Go.
right in.
Exactly.
And
He
so
wasn't-
I don't hold anything against him. I think he's a good player. I think he can do well. Sean Bunting, Arizona, that's a big corner pickup. Kenny Moore staying in Indiana. I mean, yeah, dude. Defensively, these contracts are
the
ridiculous.
biggest one, though, I feel
Raekwon
like.
Davis staying with the Colts, that's a big
Yeah.
one, too.
Yes.
Colts did a
yes.
lot of re-signing and keeping their guys.
Yes.
How
think-
about Brian Burns?
Well, yeah, we hadn't.
That's the biggest one probably of them all. And Giants. I mean, Panthers were talking about there's one player to franchise tag. Everyone saying you need to franchise tag this guy. At least keep him. Next day he's gone. So I wrote this down actually. 2 years ago, the Rams offered 2 first-round picks and a second-round pick for this man.
Yeah.
2
Yep.
first-round picks and a second-round pick. The Giants got him for a second-round pick and a fifth-round pick.
Yep.
And guess what? He's still the same freaking player he was 2 years ago, if not better. So, an absolute steal. And they're paying him good money. You know, Giants, watch out for them. They get the right quarterback. You know, the right coaches there. They could be good.
Yeah, it's nuts.
What are we looking at?
The one thing that I've been looking at, obviously with Gross Matos going to the 49ers, that leaves Chase Young. Where's Chase Young going?
That's big.
The one thing,
he's a great
that
player.
I saw was the Titans. I saw that earlier today. That's the thing. Titans don't even have a true quarterback yet.
Yeah.
I
What
mean,
do they
Titans
have?
one little piece at a time. You know, they add a little piece here, a little piece. It might not be this year or the next year, but you know.
I still hate that Washington
decent
got rid
team.
of him.
Yeah.
I still hate that Washington got rid of
How about
all their
him and
defensive-
Montez Sweat?
That's what I said. Those two guys.
And he's on
are-
Chicago too. Like,
Yeah.
you know, good God,
I do have some guys,
yeah, him and Montez Sweat at the same time.
some what ifs that are going to turn into what nots. Bobby Wagner, free agent. Patrick Peterson, Calais
Big name
Campbell.
5 years ago.
I think these guys. I think
Done.
great players.
Yeah, big
Think they're
names
at the
4 or
end of
5
it.
years ago.
Patrick Peterson came in for the Steelers to train.
Yeah. I think
He needs to be leading the
Great
young
careers.
guys pretty
Yep.
much and just
Um,
coaching them up.
Avanti Maddox. Hate seeing him leave Philadelphia. Injuries,
He
kind
did
of.
good, you know, when his role was called.
Yes.
He did well.
Fletcher Cox. They've got Fletcher listed on here. So here's the thing. So Fletcher
Heard
came
about
out.
this.
Yeah, Fletcher came out and said he was retiring.
Not a lot. Not everyone that says that officially
But
does it.
now there is some little talks here and there that they're like,
Dude,
Fletch may
Gee.
still be on the board.
GM hit up Kelsey yesterday as a joke. Hey, Kelsey, we're doing big things, buddy. We'll welcome you back one more year. Now, that's a joke. However, you don't think that's in the back of his mind? Like, dude, we're about to have one of our best seasons in a long time. Like, crap. Am I about to miss out on this?
I don't think you do a 26, 36, whatever minutes it was speech and go back on it.
I know. And like I said, it's
Yeah.
a joke. I don't see him going
Yeah.
back on it, but still.
Brady did it.
Hey, look. But still, he threw it out there.
Touche.
He threw it out there to him. He's like, dude, you got to do it. We're doing big things, man.
Yeah.
We're going to be good. Just
Well-
letting you know. I'm just giving you a heads up.
I'm a little disappointed with this. I've got literally everything on here. I'm loving the tablet. The new idea for the podcast. Getting a little information
Thank
a
you,
little bit
Carson.
faster. I don't see anything
Thanks,
about
Carson.
Burns.
Shout
on
out,
here.
baby.
I'm not seeing anything about Burns on here, and we all knew that it was a huge.
He was probably the biggest free agent signing. He's probably the biggest money free agent signing.
He's not though. Christian Wilkins was the number one.
Per year, though?
Yeah, Christian.
Burns got 150, I think, 4 years.
I don't even see this on here.
I got you. I got it right here.
Hold on. Let me
I got you.
move a little bit.
Let me see. Mr. Burns.
Here we go.
5 years, 141 with 87.5 guaranteed. It's the biggest. Well, I think Wilkins is a one less year, so he might have more per year. More per year.
I don't even have anything on him on here at all. Which is
Well, you do
weird.
know the Giants have more money than almost every team in sports, so it's about time that they spend it on something good. And 5 years, with this guy that the Panthers said they should have franchise tagged, who they announced as one of their best players. They got him, so kudos to them.
I don't even.
One of the best edge rushers in football. It's weird it's not coming up.
I literally don't have him under the Giants or Carolina.
Where are you looking?
Sport Track.
Look up ESPN Giants news.
Crazy. Yeah, I mean, I know it's
the
there.
biggest one.
I know it's there. It's been here, but this was kind of nice because they actually have all your salary, everything right here. But not giving Sport Track a plug or anything like that on here. But so that being said, a lot of crazy moves, and we're not done, man. We're not done. We've talked about it. There's still some
We'll
guys
dip and
out
dive
there.
in weeks to come.
Yeah, there's still a lot going on. My big thing is in every game, in every sport, there's winners and there's losers.
Yeah. What we got?
And we've got both. We've got a lot of both in my book on here.
Oh yeah,
Take the lead.
I'm gonna jump in. We're gonna start with the winners. Start with the winners because everybody loves a winner, right? Everybody loves a winner.
Yeah. Interesting to hear what you got.
One of my winners, New York Giants, picking up John Runyon. Allowed 2 sacks in 17 games last year. They're trying to build the worst offensive line from 2023. He helps a ton. He is a big point of changing how their offensive line is going to do things next year.
Right.
It sucks they had to give up so much stuff before they could get an offensive line, but it looks like at least they're dabbling with the idea of, hey, maybe we should actually start working on the guys that protect these guys.
Yep.
Let's look at that.
I mean, if you didn't recall from all the big numbers that you just say, O-linemen are very important to NFL teams,
Yes, they are.
to GMs, and they want to throw the maximum amount of money at these guys because they protect the quarterback, they protect the running back.
Absolutely.
And those are the most important players. So,
Yep.
2 of the most important players, but still.
I've got Xavier McKinney going to the Packers. He's going to be an improvement over Darnell Savage and Rudy Ford.
They're just stacking.
He is a
they are.
leader in the locker room, though. That's a big thing that they were talking about is they needed a guy to come in the locker room and be able to lead when he gets there. Xavier
He's an
McKinney is
absolute
going to be
beast.
that guy.
Yeah.
He can be that guy.
Absolute
Maybe it's a
beast.
McKinney thing. You never know.
It might be.
You never know.
I think it's more of a Bama safety thing.
Could be. It very well
yeah.
could be. Might have a little something to do with it.
I mean,
Shout
no
out to
matter
my
how
buzz.
bad the Giants have done the last few years, he has been just locked down.
Absolutely.
Like, one of the shades of greatness for them.
Let's see.
So you
here.
got Packers and Giants.
Yep.
Who else? What do you got?
I've got Raiders. Christian Wilkins. They're developing one of the most lethal defensive lines in the NFL. Let's
They
see.
need to make a few more moves.
9 sacks, 28 QB hits last season. That dude is a monster. You put him beside Max Crosby, and you got quarterbacks that are going to be getting some happy feet back there in the pocket. It's going to happen.
Ain't no
Dangerous.
double team no more. You got to figure out which one you're doing.
Damn
Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
Damn
Yep.
right.
Yeah. That's a good point.
He is a huge addition to a defense that they're trying to build on. They've had offensive weapons. They have just needed to change how they do things on defense. I think Antonio Pierce, being a former player coming in as the coach, them picking him to go
he loves
long
that.
term,
Yeah.
I think he truly changes the atmosphere in Las Vegas. He truly changes it for the Raiders, and I think this is a great move going ahead for them. I've got the Eagles. I've got Saquon going to the Eagles. That's a pretty obvious one. Again, another great locker room presence. He's going to come in there with veteran leadership, still young enough to really play at a high level and an explosive level, but with enough experience to teach
He's
some
going
of
to
these
have
younger
that
guys.
O-line. He's going to have guys blocking for
Great
him.
O-line.
Great system.
He's going to have great weapons around him. He's going to have a great quarterback who can, we can RPO with him. We can give him the opportunities to really shine. Back-to-back 1,200-yard and 10-touchdown seasons for Saquon. through injuries, through terrible offensive lines, through everything.
Yep.
Productive guy. He makes production happen. He doesn't wait for it to happen. He makes it happen.
And I don't think you realize how much of an impact Bryce Huff's about to be if we extend Hassan. You talk about Wilkins and Crosby. You got Hassan and Bryce on both sides.
Mm-hmm.
You can't double team them. Just
Yep.
like you just said, those two are absolute beasts.
Yep.
All right, and Jalen's in the middle.
Yep.
Just remember,
Say big boys in the
that
middle.
guy is
Yep.
a hoss. So,
Like I said,
guys,
obviously, y'all add Gardner Johnson too.
Huh?
You can just go ahead and
So-
throw that in
good
there.
God.
Throw that
Here's
in there.
the
That's a
three of the
win
top
too.
15.
Yeah,
That's a win
so-
Three of the top 15
So
picks.
actually, Gardner Johnson, I think I may have actually had this all written down before Gardner
Yes.
Johnson came in. That does definitely knock the Eagles up on the winning sheet in my book.
Yep.
He really, because, I mean, dude, our secondary struggled,
might be
man.
number one.
Our secondary struggled last year. There's no question about it.
100%.
He was a big reason why we made it to the bowl 2 years
Yes.
ago.
Yes, it was.
And
Huge reason.
I don't know if, I'm not going to sit here and say, like, oh, if we'd had a Gardner Johnson last year, we would have gone all the way. There's some plays that wouldn't
Yes.
have happened.
Seattle
against
game.
us.
Yes.
Big 2 Hail Marys at the end.
Yes.
Drew Lock.
Those are not going to happen.
Fuck's sake.
Yeah, those are not going to happen.
Gosh.
So I'm happy about that. I've got the Falcons winning right now, man. Kirk Cousins, absolute veteran leadership, top quarterback last year before the injury. I get it. A lot of risk here. You're putting up a lot of money for a lot of risk, but if it works out for you, you look like geniuses for bringing in the puzzle piece that may complete everything you needed.
I will say, a lot of people have taken risks on him.
Yeah,
He has succeeded.
Yes.
Every single time.
absolutely.
And now
Every single time.
You got to get guys to block for him. That's the next step.
Yep.
That's it.
You got your weapons.
That's it.
Yes.
You really don't need any more weapons.
And honestly, from what I've seen, there's a lot of talent coming out for offensive linemen in the draft this year. There's
they're
going to
about to
be
get
some guys that can really.
Their first 2 picks are
Joe Alt, Notre Dame
definitely.
boy.
Yeah.
Let's
Dude's a
see.
beast.
I have also got on the winners. I've got the Steelers. Patrick Queen, man, 133 tackles, 3.5 sacks, a pick, a forced fumble last year. He fills the role perfectly. He is exactly like you hitting on what you were saying. He is what you need to try to fill that role that you guys have lacked for a long time. You've had good players, but you've never had the level that you've needed.
Nope. Like I said, the one injury, Shazier, we had it.
Yep.
We haven't had it since.
And he gets to play Baltimore twice a
Oh, I
year
can't
now.
wait.
Yes.
Oh, I can't wait.
He's going to
And
be
on-
I can't
hungry.
wait.
He's
And
going to be hungry.
On top of that, like you were also saying, he adds to a ridiculous defense that you guys have built.
Yep.
I'm not going to go into all the players, but
I already did.
yeah,
Yeah, he did a good job of that.
Matter of fact, go ahead, Adam. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's all right.
Great pickup for you guys, though.
Joey Porter Jr.
I've got you guys.
We're rolling.
I've got you guys setting up because it does make you. It gives you guys a heavy defense. It brings back the idea of that steel
It
curtain.
does.
What you guys have always historically, you've thrived on your defense. You are a team that has shown to every football fan out there that defense wins championships. You are.
Our offense hasn't been anything in 7 years, 6, 7 years,
Mhm.
even with Ben. It's
Made the playoffs.
It's been our defense.
Yep.
Still have a winning record.
Just
Yep.
imagine if you got
Yep.
a little
Yeah.
bit of taste
Exactly.
on offense.
Yep.
And
Like I said, I think, like I said, going back to Deontay trade, I don't know what it is with like the wide receivers we draft.
Yeah.
Like they become divas and they become TikToks.
Yep.
They go on TikTok and do the dance.
Yep.
We need to find somebody that just solid. I think we have it in Pickens. I hope he can get the ball more this year. But I think trying to find somebody that doesn't care about social media and getting the ball. I know it's a
Right.
wide receiver, it's a diva thing.
How much can you guys offer T. Higgins?
I know.
you literally.
Well, I mean, I
All
kind
right, hold on.
of when I kind of looked at my phone, I said I saw we were kind of making a push for
We're
Ridley.
we're brothers for a reason because we're on the same wavelength. I was literally about to hit you hit on all your teams where you think T. Higgins is going to go. In the back of your mind, him and Pickens duo.
Yeah.
With Russell, who I'm just going to say all your wins. Steelers are number 1 with the Eagles in my opinion, just because that is the steal of free agency.
Yeah.
It's just like Moneyball. Dude paid. The Yankees are paying David Justice so much money to play against him.
Yep.
Yep.
You're paying Russell Wilson $37 million And when they see you, he's going to shred.
Oh,
them.
God.
He's going
And we do play him this year.
Yes, I know.
Yeah.
They're going to shred them. Like, he lost 70-7 or whatever last year. Sky's the limit on that game.
Hopefully return the
He's
T-Bone.
Right.
He's going to at least put up 40, I guarantee.
Well, and finally, obviously, I feel like it's a given at this point. I've got the Ravens as the winners in this list as well. Derrick Henry, he was the big acquisition on offenses. Even though Kirk Cousins got the big contract,
Yep.
I think all eyes were on Derrick Henry since day one after the season was over. Everyone was like, all right, that's cool. Where's Derrick Henry going to go? There's been so many places. The speculation has been all over the United States as far as what teams could go with him, what teams can pay him, what teams can afford him, which now, after seeing the contract come out, I was like, damn, I feel like most teams could
Everybody
almost
could
afford
afford
that.
him.
Yeah, I'm like,
Yeah.
that's crazy. But Derrick Henry, the Ravens, monster backfield now. I mean, he adds a level to their backfield that they already had a great backfield to begin with. Keaton comes back healthy. You got Lamar. They're going to be tough to cover. They're going to be tough to cover in the pass because you're going to be worried about the run every damn down. It doesn't matter who's back there. They can go empty set 5 wide. You're still worried about the run. So that's a big thing for them. With Lamar, it really does. It sets them up. Probably the best rushing attack. It's one of, if not maybe the best rushing attack that's going to probably be in the league this next season.
You got 6 winners.
6
You need
winners.
some losers.
Only a
Yep.
couple of losers. But my big one that I got to throw out here, as of right now, Dallas
Absolute zero.
needs weapons.
They haven't even tried.
No moves in free agency.
Nothing. And that's unlike Jerry.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
insane. I don't know what's
That's-
going on.
That's what.
Like, are they about to get T?
I mean,
Are they
none of us are
about to go?
Cowboys fans, but
Well,
we know that
Yeah, they're about
Jerry
to
goes
just
out
jump in
and
one
go.
day and just get T and Calvin and all these cats just
Yeah.
all in one day.
This was tweeted by a former Cowboy today at 1:38. Des Bryant tweeted, "Get ready to take the blame, Dak, because I really don't see no help coming your way unless a miracle happens. Everyone in the NFC East got better during free agency except the Cowboys."
I honestly,
100% true.
I can
Couldn't have said
honestly
100%
see them
true.
finishing in 4th place next year.
The last line of his tweet: "The draft will not be enough."
No, because
No.
even if they make perfect picks,
They're still drafting.
they gotta breed these guys. It's going to be very rare for these guys to just come and have instant impact.
Yes.
You have to breed them,
Yes.
and it's going to take time. Micah Parsons was one of the only draft picks that they got who instant impact came
Yep.
in. One
They're
out
still
of
drafting in the 20th.
Yeah.
Like,
they were one of the best teams last year. They're not going to get great draft picks.
Yeah.
I mean, you're looking. I know the last couple of years, obviously the tight end. I think they went tight end last year.
Mm-hmm.
You go with the offensive lineman from Tulsa.
Yeah.
Like I mean, I'm not obviously offensive lineman. I'm not sure how he's doing, but some of the obscure picks that you've had over the past couple of years for Dallas,
Right.
it's not trending in the right direction.
Well, and I feel like Dallas right
Yep.
now, so many teams don't pay attention to their offensive line. I feel like Dallas has been the opposite. They've built a great offensive line. They're just like, hey, we don't have the weapons for you guys to really work with.
Got the best guard in the game.
Here's my thing. Why give away Zeke last year to the Patriots where he did nothing when he complimented Pollard so well? Pollard's big year where they thought, oh, he's going to be the starter next year. Fuck Zeke. No, he doesn't do good without Zeke. They do good together. He needed
Absolutely.
somebody to make him better, and Pollard would come in after Zeke, grounds and pounds and get those big plays off because he's fresh, he's healthy.
Yep.
Yeah.
When he has to do the ground and pound shit, you saw what happened. So
Absolutely.
you have to have that complementary player in order to be good in this league. You
Yeah.
have to.
Yeah.
You can't play every down and be good.
They've got, I don't know if maybe they have the secret rebuild they're trying to go towards or what, but they have a lot of weapons. They're going to squander a good team. They're going to, if they don't do something big, they're going to squander a good team. I don't know if they're just sitting back waiting for teams to trade for stuff, but if you're trading, damn it, if you pick guys up in free agency, you pay them some money, they're on the team. If you're going to trade for guys, now you're giving stuff away for them.
Here's my thing with Dak. He's been good. He hasn't been great yet, but 8 years, Draft one of these top 5 guys that you're never going to have a draft like this for a long time. Draft one of these guys. Let him and Dak go into the little QB competition. This guy might beat him out. Penix, McCarthy, May, Daniels, Williams. They could all beat Dak in the QB competition. If we're playing for first string, let's see it.
Well, and
Who's better?
And on the flip side, maybe that lights Dak up. I mean,
Yeah.
Dak had a productive
under-
season last year.
He had
He
a
did
good
have a
year.
productive season.
Productive season
But-
and stats against shit teams. He does this every year. They have the worst schedule. He does good against shit teams. He has great statistics. They lose the first round of the playoffs. It's a trend. I will never say he's a great player until he wins fucking playoff games. He will forever be a good player that has stats against shitty teams.
That's a nod to you, Robert.
Sorry. Sorry, that is what it is. Go back and look. Previous years. 8 years, 2 playoff wins, and they get to the playoffs every year.
Well,
Great regular seasons. They
100
always blow it.
100% agree. As much as I would love to sit here and rip on Dallas all night, that
We could
was
do it for
that
another
was
hour.
Yeah, we could.
that was. I mean, that one just was kind of astonishing
obvious.
to me. You know, I've got losers on here because the guys they let go.
No, they're absolute
But-
zero last place right now.
Yeah,
in
they-
the free agency pool.
They really kind of blew me away. Maybe they see something in the draft nobody else sees. I don't know. Maybe they
How
see
many picks do
something.
they even have?
I
Not a lot.
I mean,
They got,
Yeah,
like you said,
so-
20-some pick, and then they're not getting a bunch of extras.
yeah.
Another loser I've got Carolina on here. Brian Burns, man, you hit on it before I could say they were in the losers bracket.
Losing him, yeah. I agree.
They made this list. The Panthers made this list of losers that I'm talking about right now. They made this after last season. When they were offered that for Brian Burns,
Yes.
they said no, and they were like, "Oh, we're going to franchise him." All that, you lost him right there.
Yep.
You knew right then and there his career in Carolina was done.
Yep.
After this, I mean, he did a great job of saying, "Hey, guess what? That's fine. I'm gonna get my value up.
Yep.
I'm gonna get my value up. So when this season's done, bye
As far
bye.
as edge rushers, he's top 5, top 7. So
Absolutely.
He deserves every penny.
Absolutely.
And he's on a 2-15 team and still had production. You want to talk about stats?
Yep.
They played nothing but hard competitors all year. He got thrashed, but he still did his job.
Yep.
Like I said,
So-
that's the only reason I think they're on the losers. Like I said, they have done a lot
If
of
they
work.
wouldn't have given
They
him,
have.
If they wouldn't have given him
last
away,
night,
yeah.
from last night when that happened to today,
Mhm.
I think they've signed 3 offensive linemen.
Yeah.
Is what you saw?
they're
Yeah.
serious. They're serious.
They're going in the right direction.
Yes, they're
they
starting
made
at
a
the
trade for a
foundation.
wide receiver. They're making steps in the right direction.
Yes. Well, on that, I also have one last one.
I'm just going to do 2 apiece. Just got 2.
I've got the Dolphins. Got the Dolphins on here.
Not doing much, just like Cowboys. They're not making
Well,
many moves.
they're doing something. They're letting everybody go.
Yeah, and they're not
Robert-
making moves to make up for it.
Robert Hunt, Andrew Van Ginkel, Christian Wilkins. You let all these guys go. So then you replace Connor Williams with Aaron Brewer, who was the pivot man on the worst offensive line for the last 2 seasons.
Yep.
You let Jerome Baker go and replace him with Jordan Brooks, who was an absolute liability in coverage. I'm not saying Jordan Brooks can't be a great replacement, but for what he is, you could have got him a lot cheaper. Could have got him a hell of a lot cheaper than that. I think Miami shot themselves in the foot this free agency. The doors were open for 32 teams to have a hell of a 48 hours, especially when this thing popped off. And I feel like Miami stumbled walking through that door.
Yeah.
And then by the time they got to their feet, they were like, shit, this shit's ransacked.
Like, oh, we got
Like I said-
2 Jalen, Tariq,
Like I
Jalen,
said-
we're good.
He was going to have to step up even more.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Go ahead and your
Let's see
winners
it.
and losers. boss.
I mean, you named both of the losers. I mean,
yeah, that's
Dallas
an
Dolphins,
obvious. That's the
you know,
obvious one.
yeah. The only other winner I have is Texans. They've done a lot of moves.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, even trading for Mixon today,
Just these
Right,
past
or
2
last
years,
night.
man.
Great.
Incredible.
it's great. I mean, you're getting your every down back, even though the Pierce hasn't done what we thought, or everybody
He's still
thought that
there,
he would.
though.
He's still there.
Yeah.
You're tightening up the defense. I mean, they were a contender last year.
Oh,
No
absolutely.
doubt.
Yeah.
Good
I don't
God,
know
yes.
if as long as he doesn't have a sophomore slump, they'll be fine.
Yep.
He's got the defense around him to take care of him.
And they're just
I agree.
every piece around their team. They're just adding. Who else you got?
That's it.
Texans as the win, big
Yep,
winner.
big
All
winner.
right, I'll take obviously Cowboys in my 0-0. It makes no sense to me. All these, the last 3 years. Oh, preseason Super Bowl. Are we about to win the Super Bowl?
Well, that's always the narrative, though.
But it is every year.
Yeah,
But
every year.
Is it going to be this year?
We them boys.
Nope.
Hey,
We,
is
we
it going to
them,
be this year, especially after this embarrassment?
Probably gets ratings.
It seems like to me Jerry Jones had. I don't want to say it because it's terrible. This guy is getting so old that is he just like watching the TV like, oh God, that dude's good. Wow, he's really. Man, that dude's good. It's
Here,
just like
somebody clean my glasses.
the
Somebody
whole
clean my
freaking
glasses.
time. Yeah, like this dude's usually like on the phone immediately. Like, bro, we gotta have this guy. We gotta have this guy. Nothing, and it just blows my mind. I'm just gonna stop talking about it. I'll trash on them for an hour. Obviously, not being biased, Eagles are one of my top just because top 10, 15 picks added on with Gardner Johnson. We got one of the best running backs, if not the best, compared with Jacobs. We got one of the best DNs compared with Burns. Got one of the best safeties compared with McKinney and all of them. We're doing great things, and those are our team needs. Like, those are the spots that we absolutely had to fill, and we got great guys to fill them.
Absolutely.
And I will agree with you. My number 2 was the Texans. Last year in the draft, them getting Will Anderson and C.J. Stroud. Rookie of the year. Like you said, they probably could have went to the bowl. They beat Cleveland, who was the number 1 defensive efficiency ranked team, 40-some points. Blew them out of the water, and Will Anderson was a first-team All-Pro defensive player first year in the league. So you can't get better than that as your top 2 draft picks, and sky's the limit for them with all their free agents, and then another draft on top of that coming up.
Yep.
That's it for me.
Well, I think that it's been exciting. Last 2 days have been exciting. Just every time you get a notification, you're like, who's it going to be this time? Like,
I woke up at 6 a.m. yesterday, worked all day, played with Carson, practiced for a little bit, went home. I did nothing but watch free agency till 2 a.m.
Yeah.
Because I just couldn't stop.
And it's
It
still
was
not
like
over.
Christmas come early to me, like ding, 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 like everywhere. Me and my buddy, we stayed up all night just watching this. It was wild.
And
man.
it's not
I love
over.
it.
It's not
No,
over yet.
Like I said, literally,
This
I
is
got
the first
home.
2 days.
I know.
Yeah.
Literally, I got home and put the kids to bed. I was like, okay. And I stayed up till 11:30 just writing all this stuff out. Just people who
It's
signed
exciting,
where.
man.
Yep.
If you're
Yeah,
a sports
absolutely.
fan, and especially the NFL, it just keeps your interest in shit like this. You don't see stuff like this happen every year, if any year. I'm 31 years old. I haven't seen anything like this ever.
In so many sports that I feel like the direction of things is changing to new generations. And there's so many things in different sports that now is like, God, that's lame, or God, I hate watching that, or that's whack, or man, this was exciting.
Yes.
This was
And the
truly
fact that it
exciting.
happened right before today.
Yes,
Yeah.
I'm like it could not have set
Wild.
it couldn't have set us up tonight
I
any
know.
better than it already did.
Yeah.
But yeah, that one I know we were going to talk about. We had a ton of stuff. We knew we were going to have a ton of stuff.
Yeah.
The main thing right now, free agency, because of all this, it's changing everything. It's changing the draft right now. That's the big thing. It's changing the draft. I know we were going to talk about the big thing with Chicago, Justin Fields. We don't really have a lot of time for it. I'm just going to say I'm still feeling at this point. I'm still feeling that the smart move, whether they go with it or not, smart move. Send one to Washington, even if they don't give you what you want. Take something for it. Let them go ahead and get Caleb Williams. If you're going to look at what's going to fit, he's a better fit there than he is in Chicago.
That's what's going to happen.
First overall picks are traditionally, historically, they don't work out. They don't work out, especially on a team that they're like, we expect you to come in and be amazing right out of the gate. I don't think that it's smart for them to go with Caleb Williams first overall. I think Harrison makes more sense. You give Justin Fields some weapons. You have the 9th pick overall too. You've still got some pick you can use somewhere in there to help beef up defense, or maybe work on some O-line or anything like that.
Yep.
It just makes too much sense. Will they do that? I don't know.
Probably not.
Because the flashy thing nowadays is get that early quarterback.
Go Go ahead.
No, you good. Go ahead.
I say what you want about NIL crap and Caleb Williams this past year. He didn't do as great. He won the Heisman last year as a freshman. He was one of my favorite players coming out of college last year to watch. Everything about him, just perfect. Prototype quarterback, and every team wanted him. He was going first overall last year in the draft. He decided to stay. The fact that he's still going to be first overall, he had no setbacks. He didn't do as well because his team wasn't as good. He is still once in a 25-year draft, I feel like, you get a guy like this. He's just an incredible athlete. He can bring so much life to a team. And if you get him in Washington, you add Eckler, and remember all those good receivers they have out there. Young receivers. Build the O-line. Boom. You got a great team right there. You coaches. Every team is doing multiple things. That's why I was so surprised about the Cowboys. Oh, your team, our team, doing 7, 8 things to make their team better, and then some teams are doing 0. You're not going to be relevant next year. Sorry.
Yeah.
It's going to be the teams that are making moves, that are doing shit constantly to build their team. That's who the ones that we're going to be talking about at the end of that next year.
Big Mac, finish us off. How you feel about it?
You don't want to be embarrassed.
True.
If you decide to not take him, and he turns out good, that's the embarrassment aspect.
Mm-hmm.
Someone's the owner's going to look at you and say, "I told you to go here."
Yeah,
you're going to get fired.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if he turns out good. I don't know if it's me being a Notre Dame, homer. I don't like him. I don't see it. I'd rather him stay. I would rather them stay with Justin Fields. I don't think that's what they're going to do.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're going to draft Caleb.
I think they will too.
Like I said,
I've heard.
I think they will. I just don't think they should.
But now, like I said earlier, before the show started, Rappaport's saying that they're going to do a full evaluation. That's hurt them. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 signings, 9 signings of quarterbacks. Where's he going to go?
Mm-hmm.
You thought, okay, is he going to go to the Vikings? They're not trading in division.
Mm-hmm.
They're not doing that. Thought ATL. Thought he was going to Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
They just spent all that money on Cousins. Thought he could go to Pittsburgh. I was hoping for that. We signed Wilson. 1.2. No, if he's good, he's good. If he's not, he's not.
Yeah.
No, 1.2 million doesn't matter.
Yep.
So, you're waiting, but you've already waited too long. Now you got to look. So I have a couple teams, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
So if you're going to trade him, what I'm looking at, you're either you got to trade him to the Broncos because they don't have a quarterback. They're a little bit further down on the, you're looking at 3rd, 4th, 5th best quarterback.
Right.
Yeah.
In the range, I think they're 12, right around that area. I can't.
So.
I don't have the.
Yeah.
I don't remember. You have the Patriots. Now the Patriots are up there, but are you wanting to take a guy 2nd or 3rd best quarterback? North Carolina quarterbacks don't have a great track record. That triad does not have a great record.
No.
Yeah,
minus Phillip Rivers from the triad.
Preached about this. The Drake May is Mitchell Trubisky 2.0.
Absolutely. Like I said, okay, so you trade them there. You're giving up, there. The only team that I could see is the Colts. Colts have been struggling to find that answer, that quarterback.
You don't think Anthony Richardson will be the guy when he comes back?
I totally forgot he was there.
None of them go. I think Richardson's going to be great.
Well, the Colts are off.
Never mind.
Well,
He
you
got
figure.
hurt first.
I'll say you figure when the guy's been out all season. Not much to talk about with that guy.
That's exactly right.
Nobody
never
thought
mind.
he was going to be good, though. He was great.
Yeah, the options keep
Where are you
getting
going?
more and more limited. Yep.
I totally forgot he was there.
He's good, though.
He's good. Oh, he was. He was. That's on me.
So, hey, man, we're only human. This is Sports Bites,
I
baby.
thought DeAndre was still in Arizona earlier.
No,
After I watched
And I
him
thought
all year in Tennessee.
I thought Najee Harris was gone, bro.
Yeah.
So
it's always the last one. That's what they're going to remember.
That's what makes Sports Bites great, man. We're just regular guys.
But like I said, where is he going now?
Yeah.
Yep.
You either,
a
like I said,
mystery.
you either trade back, get your top receiver. Now you have 2 great wide receivers, and you signed. Where they signed someone else, right? That's right. Okay.
Dude, the Bears, they signed Swift.
Swift. Didn't they sign a wide receiver? I thought they signed a wide receiver. Or is that
gave up Mooney?
Is that Mooney
Yeah,
going?
they gave up Mooney.
So
But he fills that role too if you go after Harris.
What are you getting? What's the value?
Well, and that's my thing here. Like everyone was like, all this stuff they're doing on defense and all this, it screams that they're going to go after Caleb Williams because they're trying to build a defense around. Why does getting rid of or letting Mooney go without trying to re-sign him? Why does that not scream that you want to get Harrison? Why does one scream and not the other?
Yeah.
I think that's just as big of an impact.
Yeah.
You let Darnell Mooney go. Well, okay, we got a great guy.
Yeah.
He could definitely fit the role. You need weapons around this guy if you're going to let Fields continue. Why does one building a defense mean you're going to go after Caleb Williams, but letting Mooney go mean that you're not going after Marvin Harrison? That's what I didn't understand when I was reading everything today. But I think it's going to be interesting. I think draft day. I think unless the trade is announced early, I think the 10 minutes leading up to the first pick, there is going to be some tension in the air.
I mean, I still think the top 4 guys could be number 1 overall. Like, they deserve it. It could happen.
Yeah.
Jaden could go over Caleb in a striking thing to
It's
Washington.
happened before.
And then Caleb goes to New England. You never know what's going to happen. Marvin Harrison Jr. could go number 1 overall. I predicted that from the get-go when all this mumbo-jumbo started. Justin Fields, no matter what his past record is, with that crap offensive line and that crap defense, which didn't complement him very well, they're building a good team now.
Yep.
And they add Marvin Harrison, who is a nonstop playmaker, with that team, who just added DJ Moore last year, who did really good.
Yep.
And Fields made him better. As soon as they added him, nothing but him and Moore connection.
Yep.
And you got Kmet. And you
Kmet
got
stepped up.
And you got Swifty now. And you add Harrison. That's an offense. Then you get O-lineman.
Gerald Everett.
Yeah. That we thought was in Atlanta. Yeah. Then you get that O-line.
Yeah.
You got to keep Fields, man. You got to keep him.
But,
Caleb doesn't even want to play there. He said to his agent,
do you guys
doesn't even want to play there.
Do you guys ever get mad? Like you sit down and we all enjoy our lives and everything we've got. Do you ever get mad when you're like, you watch the bonehead moves that the front offices of these teams make, and you're like, this is the dumbest thing I've ever seen. Why would you do something like that? Like, I can think smarter moves than that, and I'm not getting paid shit. Like,
I mean, that should be every sports fan,
right?
Filming?
Every Chicago fan, at least.
Are you filming?
No.
I thought you were like, you're trying to get something. I was like, what is going on?
No. Well, with that, we are way over tonight, but it's all good because tonight we had a ton to go. I mean, we had a ton to go off.
A little bit over 2.
Yeah, I'm like, we had so much stuff has happened.
Like I said, I was joking for a double.
I'm like, the thing is, we can't split up free agency because honestly, it's all happened in 36 hours. You want to try to keep it together. It's just a ton of stuff has happened. The league has changed in the last 36 hours.
Yes, sir.
The dynamic of everything has changed.
Like I said, you can't go another week without hearing it because you got March Madness around the corner.
Oh yeah,
you got baseball starting.
Yeah,
sports baby.
Dodgers getting ready to play next week.
Yep.
So
things are getting ready to pop off.
Absolutely.
But I love that it's the NFL that everyone when the Super Bowl's over and everyone's like, "Oh, football's gone." I'm like, it's not gone.
No, it's not.
It's the sport that keeps on giving.
That's
at least till the draft, and then you're like 3 months. You're like, all right, damn it.
Yeah.
Come on,
Baseball.
man. What the hell? Yeah.
Baseball.
Well, with that, I just want to say, Big Mac, it was great having you on tonight, man.
Appreciate
this was
it,
a blast.
sir.
This
Yes,
was a
sir.
great episode.
Awesome,
Don,
man.
as always,
sir.
absolute tons of fun. And with that, to all of you out there that have stuck with us for the entire 2 hours and some odd minutes, thank you so much for being a part of this. We thank you so much. Thank you for the likes and subscribes. Keep the likes, keep the subscribes coming. We're still trying to build up for this next giveaway. We want to get it out there,
Yes,
give
sir.
away a little more Sports Bites love. Tell your friends, tell your people, like, subscribe, hit the button, comment on here.
Yeah.
Tell us what you think about the free agent
Especially
signings.
NFL fans.
Absolutely.
Let us hear it.
Tell us what you think. Tell us what you think about the draft. I want to hear some other perspectives on this whole thing with Chicago and the number 1 overall. Comment on there.
Yes.
I want to see it. Best, smartest comment I see on there is getting a shout out on the next episode.
There
we
it
want to
is.
see it. We want to hear it. We love all of you out there. Thank you
Shout-outs,
so
baby.
much.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much for being a part of this.
Different states.
We love you. And with that, everybody, we are Sports Bites. We are your number one sports podcast, bringing you the best of both worlds.
Sports
and
snacks.
Yeah.
We love you guys. Thank you so much. Have a great night.
Thank you so much.
Long as I wake up in the morning, I'ma get a bag. Get a bag, yeah, I'ma get a bag. Long as I wake up in the morning, I'ma get a bag. Get a bag, yeah, I'ma get a bag.